were in multiplayer, but it would pause the game in the main menu. I did that to sort of conserve energy, and just because normally it's a handy thing. You don't want to hear the sounds when you're doing something else. But now you can override that by clicking this checkbox here that says always run in background. Their flob is dropping tons of frames for you. Their flob. Sorry to hear that, mate. I've been checking out the streams after the fact, and they've all seemed pretty smooth. I know you're in Germany. I'm in Spain, right? Let me know if anybody else is on Twitch. Can you double check that the stream is so good for you, Strike?
Yeah, it looks good on my end.
Okay. Try. I don't know if on Twitch you can reduce the quality when you're watching from the viewer side, but that might help.
Yeah, you are able to on your stream.
Yeah, try that there, Flob. My computer, I think, can handle it just fine, so I'm not sure why it's happening for you, but not the other two guys currently. Okay, so yeah, so I added that option. So if you want to stream the game and you want to make sure the game doesn't freeze up when you're in the main menu, then make sure you check always run in the background. And can you guys see my text editor when I do this? I shouldn't show it to you. All right. So that was suggested to me by Joe Gillian. So thanks for Joe Gillian for pointing that out. I think also Exigis also asked for the same thing. So I got that in there to help anybody who wants to stream. So I'm now going to go ahead and go into the game and then go over the other changes this week. And if you're watching this and you want to join us, we're 14 of us, 15 now, are on the New York server, and we're also on the HunterNet Discord voice channel. But I'll be keeping an eye on text chat. Okay. I'm not hearing any sound. Let me make sure my game volume is not super low. Oh. Oh, my game's volume is. Okay, yeah, for some reason the sound wasn't getting routed properly. Do you guys hear the game audio fine, guys, on the stream? No? Okay. You can't see the text that are good. Yeah, sorry, Lamaro. I saw you uploaded a new. It sounds good. I saw you uploaded a new awesome track from what I saw on Amanda's phone, but I didn't have a chance to get it in. But I think tomorrow I'll probably do a minor update and I'll get it in then. Okay, so going over today's changes. First one I wanted to say, Marcel Tito, he's here with us. I added you to the in-game backer and Patreon credits. Thanks a ton, buddy, for joining and supporting the project. First, a couple fixes. There was a bug I fixed midweek where the overheat effects could get frozen, and they would, your screens and your monitors would stay red even after respawn or leaving the game. So I fixed that. There was also a similar sort of graphical glitch with the lead ring and the pip ring getting stuck when you left the game. A more important bug that I did fix is with Star Step, Scrams, and Attempt at Sleep Scheduled. All noticed that the classic mouse VJoy all of a sudden wasn't responding, and what was causing that was that the new auto center setting for classic mouse VJoy was not reading the setting correctly, and the default would cause basically the auto center 100%. So over here we go to settings, mouse, classic virtual joystick, which is the default virtual joystick is HunterNet virtual joystick, but you switch to HunterNet to classic virtual joystick. It wasn't reading the auto center setting for when you're flying with flight assist off, and it was forcing your ship to center. So now that should be correct. But either way, I do suggest if you are using classic virtual joystick, to take a moment to adjust your auto center settings when you're flying rotational flight assist off, when you're flying manually. That's this value. The default is 0.5, which means auto center, but not auto center 100%. 1.0 is 100%, right? And then when flight assist is on, then it does 0 auto center, which is what you normally want, right? You can adjust these two settings, and I fixed that bug, okay? Let's see. Another fix that I did was brought up to us by Bobo. I believe he's in the voice chat too, where the voice assistant kept on repeating over and over again, like, this is how I sound. This is how I sound. To fix that. The other thing that I did that I fixed, which you guys might not have noticed, but it's something that had been on my list for a while to give another crack at it. Is that the little fixed reticle, this green ring, could sometimes sort of jitter a little bit. So had to do with the math of calculating where onto the, this fixed reticle is actually displayed on a 2D plane. It's not as obvious without track IR, but you can see if you move to the center, it's not just painted on the screen, right? So there's some math that goes on figuring out where it should be displayed on that plane to give you the right fixed reticle, so it's like focused at infinity, yada yada yada. And anyways, the previous way of being calculating it had some precision issues. It was a utility function that I was using. It wasn't my code, but I basically switched it to my own hand calculations, and lo and behold, my calculations didn't have the problem that the Unity API did. But anyways, fix. Long story short, fixed reticle should just be a lot smoother, a lot sharper in terms of like it shouldn't jitter at all, right? Okay, what else? Oh, probably a more important change, not really a fix, but an improvement. Renzo sent me a message about performance, can you get it to run faster when you have lots of turrets, yada yada. And I didn't really do anything specific to turrets, but while I was doing, like I said last week, this week I did some back-end prototyping and sort of proof of concepts, and when I was looking at some of that code, I saw a performance improvement that sort of was a global performance improvement. There was a little bit of low-hanging fruit. I tested it, implemented it, and on my new laptop, it's hard to feel the difference, but I think on the lower end system, or when the server gets busy enough, it's an across the board performance improvement. So Renzo, if you're listening, let me know any places where you noticed that things would slow down a little bit. Yeah, no problem, mate. Let me know if it feels smoother, because I think it could make a significant difference. It was a nice little sort of code improvement, and I was happy to get it in. Awesome, 120 frames. Let's like to hear that. Okay, so yeah, so that's in. I did improve the overheat. So last week I introduced the new silent running mechanics, and I also added, some new overheat sort of lighting. I tweaked it a little bit because in the previous week, the red lighting wouldn't show up on this little part of the cockpit. This is an explosive sort of material that causes the top canopy to come off if you were to eject. Anyways, I made sure that overheat lighting would show up on that clearly, just like it does on your forward dash. So when you're looking around, you'd have a more obvious visual indicator that you were overheating. And we also got some new sound effects for the overheat, the critical heat warning. You can hear it there. That was made by Lamaro. So the whole visual and audio's got improved a little bit. The other thing that changed in terms of the feedback there is if I go ahead and equip silent running, the sound effect when you go into silent running or leave silent running, it's the same sound effect as before, but the volume was kind of over the top, so I tweaked it back to something more reasonable. Voxel pointed it out to me, and when I was adjusting the sounds, like, whoa, he's really right. The default sounds in the previous build were like way too loud. It's like silent running would give you ear damage. um, so thanks, Voxel, for that feedback. But yeah, sometimes, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Box. Sometimes when you're in the thick of it, you don't notice these things, so you need other people to like point it out to you. Okay, so let's see what else was in there. Oh, English. English with the 1 also got added to Patreon credits. Thank you, buddy, for supporting us. Another thing in the main menu. This is something that I have been pointing out before. Back when I did some low-level changes to prepare for the open world, I changed the way some of the data was loaded in the main menu, and it wasn't quite as smooth as before. While I was again doing low-level prototyping and working that part of the code, and I just smoothed it out. So you shouldn't see, the little animation in the main menu should just be smoother while the game is loading in the background. Okay. And so I did the borderless stuff. Okay, so let's go into sort of the more juicy stuff. So silent running, I'm going to talk about that first, since that's probably the most important sort of gameplay change in this build. So let me go over so silent running in the previous build, and you have to equip now silent running to use it. You're getting better frames too, Strike. Good to hear that. So now previously silent running wasn't an equipment, now is a required equipment called silent running. If you're not, you have to actively use it. So if you look at my left display over here, I changed my loadout to GAT, SLR, and ATC. So SLR for silent running, ATC for advanced target computer. You need to now, if you want to silent run, which is sort of HunterNet's version of stealth, you need to equip SLR and engage it. Once you engage silent running, you're going to see in your heat display, you're going to get a gradual buildup of heat, right? Now, the buildup is pretty gradual, and it builds up a little bit more quickly if you're using your thrusters. So flying with manual thrusters is useful, since drifting does help you keep that heat from building up as quickly. But there's been a couple changes. The previous one, was just a matter of getting the code in. I didn't really have a lot of time to sort of tweak it and tune it. And this is sort of based on the thinking that I've had, and it's a little bit closer to what I want it to be. I'm sure there'll be numerical tweaks this week. But the biggest change is you're going to notice is that whenever you fire your weapons, you will actually see your heat is going to go down, right? What that is whenever you fire your weapons, your silent running is still on, but it temporarily sort of turns off, so you expel heat. So the way I think of it, a lot of times when I'm working on stuff in HunterNet, I'm always looking for things in real life to take inspiration from. Usually it's World War II or science fiction or flight or airplanes or cars, something related, but obviously adjusted for the game. And when it comes to silent running, sometimes I think of it in terms of submarines. That's actually where the term silent running comes from, right? A submarine can go into silent running to sort of avoid sonar detection. And the other thing I was thinking is I wanted the silent running to basically have two primary uses. One is sort of scouting around the battlefield, right? Sneaking around. But the other one was actually to actively use it in combat. Because in this build, whenever you're silent running, if somebody has the advanced targeting computer equipped, their ship is not able to resolve enough information from your ship to get those lead pips or lag pips. But whenever you fire, think of it as if you're underwater firing, it's like a chance for you to sort of get a gasp of air. When you do that, you temporarily will reveal yourself both on the radar, on the contacts array, and if somebody has you targeted, my heat level is critical. There's a new heat critical alarm. Let me get out of SLR. If somebody has you targeted, then they will temporarily see the lead pip or lag pip. They have that equipped for a half a second after you fire. And if you have the advanced targeting computer equipped, you have the exact same limitations. So if you're silent running, you cannot use your advanced target computer. But every time you fire, you're sort of briefly revealing yourself. Think of it almost like a shark, or I don't know, like a crocodile going up for getting a little bit of air, revealing themselves, and going back underneath the water every time you fire. So if you do that, if you're using silent running without firing, you're not going to reveal yourself on radars or contacts array, but eventually your heat is going to build up and you're going to be forced to reveal yourself. If you're using silent running a little bit more aggressively, every time you fire, you're going to get a little gasp, a little opportunity to release some heat, but you're again going to be revealing yourself, but only for half a second versus, turning off silent running, which is going to reveal yourself for a minimum of 2 seconds before you get back into it, right? So yeah, you can take a little gasp or get out of silent running. So super interesting. I want to see how that turns out. The numerical values can be changed. There's values to be tweaked, like how much the heat builds up when you're not doing anything, how long the little gaps last. But the core concepts I think are solid. So I just want to see how it affects our gameplay. So when we do the team fights today, it could be interesting to see one team equip only silent running and the other team equip only the advanced target computer. Because in some ways, those two equipments sort of interact with each other, right? So yeah, really interesting. So I highly recommend you guys try that out, so we can have as many pilots giving it a try as possible. And okay, so going on, the other big change in silent running is that previously you could do everything while silent running, including power burn. Now you cannot power burn. You can do regular thrust, boosted thrust, but you cannot power burn. And of course, firing basically temporarily takes out a silent running briefly, right? So that means if you're silent running, yeah, you're a lot more sneaky. But if somebody does find you, then unless you get out of silent running, they can catch up to you, right? And if they're sneaky, they might catch you off guard when you're being sneaky. So I think that sort of sneak, anti-sneak, those sort of comeback loops, getting inside people's heads should be really sweet. And then speaking of Hey, Magichelle. Good to see you, mate. The other interesting thing related to silent running is just like silent running no longer lets you use power burn. I did a tweak to power burn that I've been wanting to do for a long time but haven't gone to. Previously, if you did power burn and you ran out of energy, you could still power burn without any drawback. You wouldn't build up any heat, your power burn wouldn't get any worse. So that could lead to a situation where you had somebody who was practically dead and they got into a sort of, they try to evade as much as possible by power burning while rotating in various directions, and there was really no drawback, right? But now, if you run out of energy, your power burn will degrade to just be a forward boost. So yeah, you can keep power burning, but you're not going to have that higher top speed. You're not going to have that higher acceleration. So the other guy who's managing his energy will catch up to you and destroy you. So you're going to want to stop power burning when you run out of energy and let it regain a little bit. How long are you in Pipple when you shoot, sir? Half a second after you fire. So every time you fire, that's half a second. Now, it doesn't build up. So if you fire the Gatling gun, which is shooting 8 shots per second, it's not like half a second plus half a second 8 times. No. When you stop firing after the last projectile leaves your barrels, half a second after that, you'll be pippable again. And the easy way to know is if you have pips yourself, then you'll see your pips appear and disappear exactly as the target's pips are appearing and disappearing. Which should be quite interesting because when they appear, before they appeared, your opponent would be having to use the lead ring to make his adjustments. When the pip appears, they might know, oh, my aim was slightly off. You might notice the same thing if you're using an advanced star computer, and then you're both trying to adjust your aim. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, you might not equip the advanced star computer if you're using silent running, but that's up to you. Both of them work. So yeah, so power burn has been tweaked. I think it's, logically it makes sense. You guys should keep an eye on it, but it should make it a little bit easier to finish people off who are using power burn to run away without sort of making power burn too difficult to use. There was a version of power burn way back when it was introduced. Some of the veterans probably remember, where it would actually induce overheat, just like firing when you run out of energy. And we just had so many people blowing. It was the opposite of what this change is doing, where it's when people were close to death and they try to power burn away, they would end up destroying themselves on behalf of the enemy. So it was like really bad. But I think this is a nice sort of in-between spot, so I'm excited to see how that change goes. Okay, let's see what else was in this build. Okay, another obvious change is if you switch to the alt. No, the whole damage sound effects, I didn't get it in, Lamaro, because I needed to ask you some questions, and this was a sort of a short week for me since I went to the countryside since Friday evening. But yeah, I did listen to them and I put them into the project, but I didn't get a chance to put those in. I did put the alarm sound effects, the GAT sound effects. Maybe I don't know if I got another one in there, but not that one, but it's on the list. So the GAT, this is the latest alt GAT sound effects from Lamaro. I like it better than the previous one. You guys take a listen there. I think it's pretty cool. If you want to hear the new work in progress sound effects, you can go to settings, sound, and just turn on alt weapon sound effects. If you want to hear the new alt thrust sound effects, you can turn this on. The other thing I did is, if you're outside of silent running like I am right now, I'll shut up for a second. I'm using the traditional sort of, rocket burning sound effects that we normally have. These classic sound effects are used. If you go into silent running, then I'm using actually the alt sound effects from Lamaro, because they kind of, I think they're more sort of muted sound. Kind of helps remind me that I'm in silent running. I'm not sure if that's how we're going to do going forward, but that's what I did for now. And of course, again, you can't power burn while silent running. Okay, but yeah, we had some ideas on how to tweak the engine sound effects, but that's what it is for now. Okay, let's see what else changed this week. So while silent running, these use smoke trails. Like here, Crazy Gunman just did a power burn. That's that red smoke trail. You can't power burn while silent running, but you can use regular thrust and boosted thrust. Boosted thrust has this sort of a smoke trail similar to what you see from rockets or missiles. While you're power burning, you will not expel anything from your thruster, so that means visually you're also going to be harder to be spotted. And also, if you get close enough to somebody and actually look at the little flames now are smaller when you're silent running, which makes sense, right? It's like a different engine mode where it's like making smaller, you know, smaller little using a different mode to make smaller signatures visible and energy-wise and heat-wise, right? That's just a special effects thing. Okay, let's see what else. Another change. Okay, last two changes, they were really quick changes, but I'm really excited to see how they affect the gameplay. So that's something we definitely want to try to do this today and throughout the week. Is I did so Starstep had been asking me for a long time, hey Fernando, can you like buff boost BST? Can we try like a stronger boost? And if you guys don't use it, boost is one of the sort of passive equipment choices you can pick. The classic, you have heat sink that lowers the energy cost for using boost and power burn. Then you have hull, which makes you tankier, and then you have BST boost, which increases your acceleration when you're using boost or power burn. It's most noticeable when using boost. And those are sort of your three, that's like your triangle, your three choices. You can go for a little bit more energy, a little bit more tankiness, or a little bit more acceleration. And I had noticed, I think a lot of people noticed that it was definitely more common to go for tankiness rather than boost or even heat sink. Now, like I said in the previous build, the way I do balancing is not about you want every single piece of equipment used exactly the same amount, right? That's not what we're going for. It's not that kind of like mathematical, everything's equally useful and equally balanced. That tends to make the game bland. And plus the equipment is, depends so much on situation and on pilot. That doesn't make sense to balance things that way. But having said that, I did wanted to see if maybe boost, a little stronger boost would get a little bit more frequent use. And boost is sort of an equipment that I think is particularly useful as you become more and more experienced, because the advantage of better acceleration is that ideally you're evading. You're not as tanky, but because you're avoiding getting hit, that that has the same effect. You live longer. The tricky thing with boost, if your boost is too good, it could be the equivalent of infinite hull, right? You never get hit, right? If a boost is good enough. So it's a little bit trickier. It's a little tricky to boost, no pun intended. But I did buff it, and it's a significant buff. It's in between the previous value and the prior peak value. We had a version of boost that was pretty obviously too strong because the best pilots were just really hard to hit, and this is somewhere in between. Normally in the past, this kind of change I would have introduced as a test parameter. I didn't do this with this change or even like the plasma heavy cannon changes last week. That was on purpose because right now really the goal is the getting us ready for Steam, the open world loop. So when I do these kind of changes are like super easy to me. It was took 2 seconds to like change a few numbers. But I didn't put in a test parameter because what I want to avoid is like endless back and forth on the Discord. Oh, it should be higher, it should be lower, um, or because those things also take a lot of my time. So if I ever do screw the pooch with any of these changes, don't worry, don't freak out. I mean, the worst possible scenario is like the next day I go back to the previous value, right? So think of them as like little balance changes that are low hanging fruit, but where they're not meant to introduce a huge round of balance tuning, right? Worst case scenario, I go back to what it was, but you know, we'll see. I don't think it's that drastic. The next change that I did is the projectile velocities were tuned. So these are all sort of related, and this is why I did it, right? You have power burn, you have silent running, you have the advanced targeting computer changes, you have boost. All these sort of have an impact on the balance between offense and defense, evasion versus hitting, right? How long the fights last, right? A few weeks ago, we did some really useful team fights. Hey, Breakway, where half the team was using what was it, pips, and the other team wasn't using pips, or we had one where I think that we'd use lower projectile weapons. Um, so one thing that we had done a while back is when we introduced the 3 difficulty levels to make flying without pips easier. We did a tuning test where we tried like 10% faster projectiles, 25%, 20%, and we ended up settling for 30% faster projectiles above the board, right? And that was great for when you were flying without pips, but I felt that all this time when you were flying cadet difficulty, it made evasion a little bit. I mean, you could evade, but it made evasion a bit harder than I normally would have liked. So it was helping us without pips, was probably hurting us with pips. And now that we're back to making pips optional based on equipment, and that we have these new, much more accurate pips and per weapon pips, I switched the projectile velocities sort of in between the faster ones that we across the board that I've been flying with for a while, and the classic ones before the upgrade. Basically, what I did is the higher speed weapons, which from top to bottom is flak, gat, and bull, their speeds got lowered more, whereas the slower weapons like the heavy cannon, plasma cannons, and rockets, their speeds are more similar to where they were before. So the top end got pushed in a little bit more. The lower end didn't really change. Actually, the plasma cannon did exactly the same as before, right? So the stuff above it got slower. Stuff below it got actually the rocket got a teeny bit faster, but not much. But anyways, the relative performance should be about the same, and I think it's a really interesting change, and all those changes are going to affect things, right? It's gonna. So the main thing I want to see is try out the slower weapons if you haven't tried them before. Try changing your loadout. Try going outside of your comfort zone, because the changes to silent running, advanced target computer power burn, and projectile velocities, combined with the plasma cannon and heavy cannon damage boost from last week, I think definitely have changed the balance of the game. Hopefully, the main thing I'm looking for really, because the individual values might need tweaking, is what is the balance during our team fights of evasion, how hard it is to kill people. Because when we did fly without the pips, even though it was harder to hit people, and those before the lead ring, I liked that because it was easier to evade without pips, you could survive a little longer, give you more breathing space. So all these changes are sort of change that balance. Okay, I hope that that made sense. But we'll talk about it throughout the playtest. And I think that was the main stuff in terms of forward-facing changes in the build. The other thing that happened behind the scenes is actually the more important stuff that happened this week is project planning. I did a bunch of project planning, especially at the beginning of the week with Amanda. I have to meet with the startup team, Vox, Ivan, Lamaro, Starstep this week, because I haven't shared with them my notes on that. But that was a really, really good exercise and very important. So I have a clearer idea of a lot of that. And I'm going to be updating some spreadsheets that I haven't updated yet, but they're almost ready to be updated. The other thing that I did was some very important behind the scenes proof of concepts and prototyping for the open world loops. Again, that's the ability for servers to host multiple locations that we can warp between, and also adding in new gameplay loops. And I think I posted this on the Discord, but I'm going to briefly mention it. Whenever I say the open world loop, what I mean by that at a really high level, and this will get more refined on the website over time, is imagine an open world where you can mine for resources, then use those resources to um, I wouldn't say construct, but to invest on your war machine. Have your faction have more capital ships, better weapons, more starfighters, whatever that actually means in the long run. The details aren't. But you mine to collect resources, you invest those resources to increase your faction's war-making capacity, and then you use that war-making capacity to fight over those resources, to deny the enemy, to destroy the enemy's war-making capacity. And then that, of course, forces you, the enemy, to, again, collect more resources. Now, that is sort of the general open world loop. In reality, in an actual game, that loop is going to be running at different time scales simultaneously over a long period of time. But it's that core loop of resource gathering, resource investment, and resource destruction, right? So there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes to make that work, and there's a lot of like low-level game design stuff that also has to be figured out. But a lot of the proof of concept stuff that I worked on this week is sort of things that I wanted to prototype to make the amount of work required and sort of the development path to get that stuff into the game a little bit clearer for me. So that was actually my number one focus, besides the stuff I just went over in the playtest. Community spotlight. I think I talked about this last week, but I didn't have time to, I just got into the house 30 minutes before I started this. But Maxi joined as a new moderator and pilot instructor. I think I talked about that last week, but just in case, I noticed I hadn't posted an announcement, but Maxi joined us. He's a longtime player from Europe, and we needed another moderator, and he's an amazing pilot, so he agreed to help. And then Trackmere followed him soon after that, and I'm pretty sure I didn't mention that last week. And he's from the Oceania, Australia sort of time zone, so he's also helping with moderation. One of us. And yeah, so I'm really happy to have both of them help. And another community spotlight. I don't think I had a chance to mention that last week, but Trackmere has been helping Yokin, one of our moderators and admin, with a really cool new pilot instruction video or for the intro to HunterNet. They showed me a preview that, and it's looking really cool. And then Lamaro, Community Spotlight. I didn't have a chance. He uploaded a really what I've heard is a really cool new track. I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but Amanda was listening to it before we drove up here, and I just didn't have time to put it in. But it sounds like it's a super cool track, so I'm excited to get that into the game. And yeah, that's it, guys. I had a Saturday and Sunday. I tried to relax a little bit. I did bring my phone with me. I saw I had a lot of messages. I didn't read them because I peeked with Amanda's phone instead. I don't want to lose track of those threads. So if I read something and then I lose the notification that I have an unread message, and I might forget to respond to somebody. And plus, I'm not good at responding at length when all I have is, my thumb. So I waited until I got back to our apartment so I can respond to you guys, and also all the DMs. So yeah. So without further ado, that's it in terms of the community spotlight. Anybody on Twitch chat, if you have any questions before I talk to the guys on voice chat, any questions about the game or any feedback or anything you want to say, now's your chance to say it. Okay, nobody's saying anything on chat, but Box, did you want to say anything, mate?
I think I'm good, thanks. Really excited for fundraiser campaign and all that stuff, and getting all this new stuff made pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah, me too, mate. Yeah, I need to talk. I want to set up a time if you have time this week to talk about that in depth.
Yeah, definitely.
Good, good. Okay, so without further ado, unless somebody has any, did everybody get? I try not to go on too long when I'm covering the changes. I want to get into trying it out. But I hope my explanations of silent running all sort of made sense. If anybody is not clear as to how anything worked, definitely speak up. And I might switch it to a free for all in just a moment, and then we'll do some team matches, huh? See how things are going. Okay. And I'll keep an eye on the Steam chat if anybody joins Steam chat. Hey, smartass. Oh yeah, I don't want to ruin anything, but yeah, the cap ships. That's one of the things that's the most exciting for me personally with the open world concept is like bringing ships other than our own, from small to big, more to life, and having them play more a major role. But yeah, I think you do a lot of capital ship assault. Capital ship is really a pale shadow, in my opinion, of what we can accomplish. So one of these, I think soon we'll be able to reveal more information. I don't want to just go off half-cocked and then say something that's not completely accurate. But yeah. Hey Bestia, good to see you. Ahoy. Okay, so I am gonna move this Twitch chat out of the way so it doesn't get in the way of what I'm doing.
Can we speak now?
Yeah, you guys can all speak now if you have any.
Brief.
Yeah.
Okay.
Air.
As long as I covered the changes and the community spotlight, and then in terms of next week, I didn't say what I was gonna work on next week. I haven't decided yet because I sort of need to take a moment to go over my list, and plus I want to talk to the startup team guys a little bit. But so yeah, so that's why I haven't said what I'm gonna work on next week, but something important, basically.
We can finally breathe.
You can breathe now. Yeah.
You can arise.
This over here.
Yeah, I like Flak a lot more now that it's slower, because you can actually see your own projectiles now, instead of them vanishing in the blink of an eye. It's great.
Yeah.
Who just bumped me? How dare.
And that hopefully means you can actually see it coming in from someone else and have a better idea of how to evade them. Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. No,
Hopefully.
I think it has promise.
I have to see.
Okay.
Oh, the other question I had, did you change any of work on any, more graphic settings for, shadows or textures?
No, no, that I didn't have time to work on stuff. That's where I wrote it down. Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's pretty low priority.
Oh
And then the
no.
whole thing is like the main menu graphics, the actual like side menu needs to be redone, and a lot of that stuff is gonna move to your ships menu, and like Ivan is visually designed the HUD, and you know, so there's all this other stuff that's way more important right now than adding, you know, shadow settings. But yeah, the easy workaround now is, you know, use your NVIDIA control panel to force it to something else. I know that getting it into the game will be even better, so I'll get in there at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes me sad. I have to suffer with minor artifacting due to overriding the filtering in NVIDIA.
Oof. Feels
Let's
bad,
see.
man.
It's only
So,
like...
Box, what do you think of the... We've tried basically like 2 or 3 different GAT sounds. We had the new GAT out, then we had the one that used to be repair tool, and then we have this one.
I like this one.
You like it?
The new
Good.
one. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Good, good. Well, I'm happy.
It's nice.
You liked it, Ivan? Okay, good. I definitely liked this one and the rep one better than the one that was in last week's build. So this one definitely is good for me too. Okay, so
Yeah.
so did you guys get a chance to play? Like, I had some DMs during the week. Some people told me, oh man, the new plasma buff and heavy cannon buff is so strong. Nobody really told me that it was better than Gat or Vol, but definitely they noticed the difference. I'm gonna try flying with a lot of plasma cannon, heavy cannon today, just to see how that is. Yep. Yeah, it is strong, but then when I did join, we had a lot of people join this week, and I should make a shout out to Zero Tolerance. Last Sunday, right after the playtest, well, not right after, but a while after the playtest ended, I said, oh shoot, I forgot to update some of the servers. I had only updated New York and maybe one other server. And I came back to like go and update the rest of the servers before going to sleep. And I saw that Zero Tolerance, content creator from France, who's like brought a lot of people into our community, really nice guy, who's on our Discord, was playing the game. So I joined him, ended up playing with him for a while, and he and a bunch of other guys came on, and they were using a lot of GAT and Vol, and it was really successful. So I was like, is Plasma Heavy Cannon better? Is GAT and Vol better? I do think with the new advanced target computer, using that plus 2 weapons is a lot better than it used to be when it gave you an average firing solution. So it makes sense that you would see a lot of like dual weapons. But now with the slower projectiles and with silent running, it's like, you know, all those things sort of tweak the balance, so to speak. Yeah, you're loving the PLC, but yeah, I mean, I think the slower weapons definitely needed at least a change to see how it would affect the overall balance. Okay, so who's on? We have. Yeah, I'm gonna switch it to free for all because everybody's on the same team right now. And I'll leave the enemy call signs on, and I'll leave repair on kill is off. So that should encourage you, if you want to repair, fly back home to repair. All right. Loving PLC question. For a 4v4 tournament, I would use attrition. If it depends on what you do. If you can do attrition 6-minute match, attrition 12-minute match, or you want to do really short rounds for your tournament, you can do survival, where each person only gets 1 ship. But I would recommend Bestio, if you're gonna do a little tournament, to just experiment with different mission modes and see which one you guys like the best. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. Yeah, Kenobi's name is so long that it has to use a smaller font.
Can you
to
just
fit
let me switch my loadout because I want to hear the guns. I want to actually hear the gun sounds.
Okay.
Everyone's interrupting.
And they're all too eager for blood.
Yeah, especially Renzo. This was the first person to pop out in front of my face. That's a voxel. Alright, so yeah, what exactly on gameplay has been changed because I wasn't quite.
If many
Watching it,
things.
I'm not gonna go
No,
You
no,
might
I
just
was-
wanna, yeah.
I was in
Those
conversation with
DLCs
all the
are
stuff.
hard.
Yeah. I'd say the most important is, all the guns that had really fast projectile speeds are slower now. So they're a little bit harder to hit
The
with.
relative ordering's still the same though, so
Yeah,
know,
silent
black is still
silent
the
running
fastest.
got changed a little bit so that it lasts a little bit longer, and if you shoot, it allows you to reduce some of your heat buildup, as well as temporarily disengaging the silent running. So you can use it more gracefully.
I snuck up on you, Renzo, with silent
Yeah,
running.
noticeably slower. Yes, I see.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like the flak is like, I like
They are
it more.
slower, but they're still fast. They're slightly faster than they were before the 30%.
I think the flak's better because you can see your own shots better.
So they're not slower.
It actually makes it easier to aim with tracers, kind of.
Yeah, after I kill
Kinda.
Breakway, I'll or get killed by him more likely. 'Cause he's hitting me pretty hard. Ah, he got me. So was a question. I was thinking survival. Yeah, survival best of 5 would be good. If you're gonna do survival, it definitely makes sense to do that.
Yeah, at least at a minimum of best of 3. That'd work out super well.
Survival's pretty fun, you know. It does change things. You without survival, you have multiple rounds.
Ooh, let's not keep myself.
I mean, we never did a survival round with repair tool, for example. I mean, that totally changes
Yeah, that'd probably.
the logic, right? It's like, and that's what I kind of mean with balance. Like, okay, if you don't balance it so everything's used exactly the same, because like, it's still a lot of things are very situational, right? You know, now when things are more, gap versus volt, that's a little bit easier where you want to make sure both are pretty good, but once things
you don't
start getting
want
a little bit further away from the same, there's a lot more to it than just
you don't want survival to be like, if your wing has a repair tool, you're guaranteed the win if the other one doesn't, just from attrition. You don't want that to happen. Because then all of a sudden repair tool's suddenly meta in that one mode. When it's nowhere near as strong.
I'll answer that after I... okay, FaZe ended me. So, yeah, use your collision warning, impact warning to avoid getting rammed by the AI. Think it as training, because a human wanting to ram you is going to be way scarier than the AI is. The other thing I recommend, if you do fly in heavier ship, or if you equip your ship with hold, that does increase your survivability during crashes. The light fighter in particular, without any hull is gonna, the bomber with double hull crashes into you, especially if your shields are low, they'll break you to smithereens. So, on the other hand, it's much easier to avoid getting crashed into in a light fighter than it is in a bomber.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think Dave's noticed the same thing, but when you're blacking out the two, front pieces of hull on your ship, they get like black rectangles around.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's just I thought it was that some weird like shadow artifact, but it's just
yeah, it's weird artifact.
Lorenzo got me. It just happens to do with it's just a complete coincidence having to do with that there happens to be like a the geometry of the cockpit. There's a small spot there that happens to catch some shadow, and from the kind of angle we're looking at it, it looks a little bit weird, but it's just shadowing. It's the same kind of shadowing you see anywhere else.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's depending on the lighting and the angle, you're seeing a little bit of shadow. I don't know if the little metal protrusions are casting or what's casting it, but it's just a shadow.
It's just weird that it's only during almost blacking out that you can like notice it.
I've seen it in different angles. I think this has to do with the changes in cockpit, your head position when you're pulling G's, for example. I don't think it has anything to do with actual G-forces, because if you turn on like remote pilot where there is no G-forces, then you can get the exact same visual effect to happen. It's just a shadow.
It's also really weird that it's a perfect like rectangular shape.
Yeah.
Almost. I think it's like very subtly. It's really weird. Like, you need to like get an external camera or something and stare at it to see what's happening.
one thing that'll be interesting, and you know, this is probably something that you guys can test during the week, during some more rounds. Is like, I picked what I thought were reasonable values as to how much heat silent running generates constantly, how much heat it releases when you fire. It seemed reasonable during AI testing, but versus humans is very different. So I think the general concept of it, I'm pretty sure is good, but how long you can silent run without having to get out of silent run, how easy it is to balance silent running while in a fight might require some slight numerical tweaks. Although my first fights with silent runnings they feel reasonable to me. But those could always,
Fernando, the shots on the flag cannon, are they random or in a fixed pattern?
it's random.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, is that you, Lamar?
Yes.
I recognized you just with one word. That's good. Hey, Zigzy. You need it. When are you gonna do an audio, a voice song? What do you call it? See my brain.
Vocal
lyrics.
mix.
Vocals.
Vocals. We need a Lamar vocal track. Thank you. Strike.
Oh, you stole it. How dare you?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm coming
How
through.
about more?
Lamar vocal track. Death metal vocal track.
Yeah.
Lamar can just speak in,
Take
Lamar can
fucking
just speak in
metal.
German.
Yeah, dude in German,
Yeah.
German death metal
German
track
metal.
with a little
Next
Russian mixed in too.
Yeah.
Become
And
next
some
to
chicken.
Combine.
God dang. Gunman. Someone gunman ganged up on me while I'm talking, while streaming simultaneously.
I'm streaming too.
Das ist eine köstliche Pizza.
I
See,
stream
that's
if I get more than 30 frames.
Oh yeah. It's a,
Go for it, boy.
it's very minor issues when I stream, but it's,
16.
I can
16
survive.
people on the server right now, by the way. And there's no AI. It's all humans. Okay, who's this? It's a new player.
Oh, kill the
Oh,
new
he took
player.
me
I'll
out.
watch you. I was gonna attack him, but
Jazz leader. Okay, I'll do my best to kill you. Here, let's see.
Well played, boy.
Now you don't see your pips, do you? See, all of a sudden you can't hit me as well, can you? I don't have pips either.
Oh,
I like that feature.
Ren, you just rinsed me.
Well, it works. Silent running works. I tried silent running.
Ah,
against
he
somebody
switched
who I had
targets.
Very little experience at not of using pips. I'm only using the lead ring. Oh, and I turned the fight around. Did somebody turn on repair on kill? I feel like I just repaired.
Yeah. Or was it on the whole time? Who knows?
Maybe it was. I just been dying, so I didn't notice it. I turned repair on kill off. So you need to go and repair.
It's very dangerous.
Good shots, Maxi.
I could imagine how terrifying free for all would be if the first person to land in the hangar of the battleships had all the turrets go to his side and defend him.
It would just be fight for capital ship control.
No, you'd be
There is a little
constantly
bit-
flying in and out, trying to.
Hey, that's a
Hey,
King of the
Michelle.
Hill idea.
Yeah, King of the Hill. Oh man, there's so many
Do
things
that
you
with
could
the
do.
capital ship. That could actually be really
Yeah,
fun.
you have a neutral one in the center.
What we need is the capital ships moving around and
Yeah.
blowing
Yeah.
asteroids up. Crazy stuff like
Oh,
that.
that'd be cool. Holy shit, I'd love that.
Right?
King of the Hill,
You know, the
also-
asteroid's in the way of your base, so
Those
the
three
ship has to go
battleships
through
that
the
we know what
asteroid.
They could do there.
Ah, Lamaro.
What the hell?
Death to the death.
I was fighting one person and suddenly there was three and it was like, oh no.
I'm getting bullied.
No, you're not.
Was bullying me.
No one.
Only did not steal
It's
the
got
kill.
about goddamn.
No,
Stop the bullying.
I'm not doing anything.
Oh crap. Oh, Schultz, he's back. Oh no.
I can't even see you.
Ah, no! He still killed
I'm
me.
trying to
I
hide from you.
I
I
know you're
snuck
trying.
up on you and he still turned around and killed me. Lamaro, good job, man. I don't know
Rambo,
Ah!
I'm
I've
getting
been using
bullied.
plasma cannon against a lot of.
That's not even my final form
Oh,
yet.
who shooting me?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck you.
You're
No.
Finally.
I've been using plasma cannon against a lot of Gat, Volt, and Flak, and I don't think plasma cannon is OP. At least not when I use it.
Fernando,
Not yet.
Fernando, Gunman is bullying me.
Don't bully Faye, Gunman.
I like the new lead sound. It actually works because I die every time I hear it.
Were you not? You weren't using pips, were you, Lamaro?
Are you? I got the standard loadout. I didn't leave fit yet.
Oh,
I wonder my silent
once
run
again,
didn't seem to
getting
do
ruined.
anything.
I was saying,
Oh.
gats feel nice right now. I'm really enjoying it.
Good, good.
Like how much faster are the projectiles now?
They're slower.
No, they're slower, not faster.
Oh, they're slower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I lowered them because they were
okay.
too. Remember we did a 30% across the board speed increase when we went to without pips for the first time with veteran difficulty, and it felt like it was too much. So I tweaked the overall projectile velocity, especially now that the new advanced target computer is a better pip than we used to have in cadet, right? So
Oh, is it that much
Oh,
better?
shit.
It's
Maybe I
more
should
precise,
try running
and it's
around
way better with
with-
double weapons as well.
Interesting.
God.
I
Yeah, we
might
go.
run around with Pip and see what happens.
yeah, you could try flying without pip, or you could do silent running plus advanced target computer, and then you could try both, basically. Wow.
Yeah, you have to do that because I generally fly no Pip.
Lamaro killed me again.
Oh shit.
But he spawned right in front of me. Somebody must have finished you off.
What the hell? Oh god. Anyways.
I have no clue where anyone is, and it's mildly horrifying.
Fly
They killed
around
me again.
peacefully,
Okay,
but
fine,
two
fine.
people
I'm
at the
gonna try
same
to reload
time
it.
decide to attack you.
What's behind you?
Not fair.
Oh shit. Oh,
I'm
shit,
being shot by
again?
2 people.
Who's eating me? No, oh, it's a Steph again.
It's hard to say. Time to say
Damn it.
goodbye.
No.
You going to sleep, Ivan?
For the
That was
cold
part of
rush.
the tutorial.
I gotta do some work, but I'll be hanging out for like maybe 15 more minutes.
Okay, Ivan. See you later, mate.
See ya, Ivan.
Just in case any of you guys are recording or something,
There
it would be
it is.
cool for the YouTube video of the song. That would be nice. Especially if you're using Track IR, that would be awesome.
Oh, hi, Fernando.
Hey.
I'm about to lose to you.
Yes, you
Is this the one and only? Is this the one and only?
You might not lose to me.
Save the death!
Considering
Protect
it's
the
me at 30 frames, I think I probably will.
Okay. Well, somebody else is attacking you, I think.
Yeah, I'm being shot by 2 people.
Come on, leave Strike alone. Let me face him in peace. Attack the dev instead. Who is it? It's Panico. There.
Oh, that's a 3rd person.
And there's Lamaro. Okay. Now I lost sight of you. Better target you. Do the contact list is very handy.
Oh shit. Oh,
And now I
shit.
lost sight of you, but there you are.
It's terrifying.
Oh
Ah.
shit. Nice. Yeah, I died because I don't have the whole damage alarm yet.
Yeah, I kind of like the old alarm sound. I kind of wished it was like different for every ship. I feel like that'd be cool.
Like a tornado siren.
Like the old one is be just for the bomber. Or
Oh
something.
shoot, I'm way
I
overheating.
feel like that'd be
More World War II.
Which one?
No! You got me.
I got ya.
Oh
Oh
wow.
god.
Okay.
Alright,
I'm
that's
gonna
gotta be my last.
I recommend you go to repair. Repair on kill is not on, so you better go repair before I find you. Because I will kill you. I shall be nice and let you repair. I already
AI
found
are either
Go
we're
repair.
always on or we're back on.
Great.
you. Go repair, Strike. Right below you.
Target
You're
I'm bad at flying. Oh, you're right there. Hello.
I'm gonna leave you alone. There's somebody else there. Renzo is there.
And
Yeah, I'll be.
Alright, sadly, I actually do have to take off.
Fernando, what kind of questions did you have about the songs?
20 minutes late to getting some housework done.
I need to listen to them again. I wasn't sure like the logic behind like when should I kick in the whole sound? Was it to be because there's currently like don't attack me while I'm talking. There's a shield. There's a energy depleted sound alarm. There's a shield failed alarm. We didn't really have a hull failure alarm. Was that supposed to be an alarm? Was that just be to help you notice that your hull was falling apart? I wasn't.
It's kind of like it will repeat itself depending on your actual home status, like rate of fires kind of thing, you know.
So it's independent on where the energy failure happens when your energy fails, and the shield failure happens when your shield fails. This is more of a status update, just like the heat critical
Yeah.
alarm, but for home. Okay.
Yeah. So for example, if you're like, I don't know, if you say like at 60% hull, it will start, I don't know, repeating
Yeah,
its
heat
hull
damage.
every 3 seconds, and
Okay.
the lower your hull gets, the more quickly it keeps repeating, kind of
Right.
thing.
That makes sense. I understand now.
You just need to like kind of dial it inwards,
Yep.
like. So it
Well,
doesn't
we
sound
got rid
too
of the
stupid.
energy. Yeah.
No,
We should have
bots
some
in the
really
chat.
reasonable defaults. It's gonna be. We do have the menu, by the way, for you can turn on and off individual alarms. So if somebody doesn't like it, like some people don't like the G-load alarm, and to turn it off. So I think this is probably one of those things where I'll include it in the menu. But we'll figure out some reasonable defaults so that most people don't feel like they need to turn it off.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Is that you, Rui?
That's me. What's up?
Huh?
I don't know what's going on. What's been the major changes in the last like 2 patches?
Yeah, it is Rui. See, I recognize that voice. Something about your voice, Rui, that is very recognizable.
GG.
It's
Major changes. Okay.
Silent
There's
running.
been silent running. The new active silent running was introduced last week and was refined this week. That's a pretty big change. It was sort of like the last missing piece of the core sort of combat puzzle for the current faction. Basically, you have to equip silent running and you have to turn it on and off to use it. When you turn it on, you go into silent running. Your ship starts building up heat, but you're hidden from radar and you're hidden from the contacts array, which is fed by your scanners. So you're basically invisible to sensors, but you're still visible, right? And you can still be targeted visually as well. The other thing it does is if somebody has you targeted and you're silent running, even if they have an advanced targeting computer turned on, they don't get any pips. But on the other hand, even if you have an advanced targeting computer on and you're silent running, you don't get any pips either, right? But
GG.
every time, and while you're silent running, you can't use power burn, but you can use regular thrust and boost. But regular thrust and boost will not visually give you away. You won't get a bunch of, you won't get an engine trail while boosting forward, for example, right?
okay.
And when you use those, you'll build up heat more quickly than if you're drifting. So you have to take that into account. Then the last sort of little twist is every time you fire your weapons, you basically temporarily leave silent running, become visible on radar, become visible on the scanner array, expel some of the heat that you built up. And that means that when you fire, you're visible. Sort of like imagine like you're a shark, you're popping up to like bite at a seal and then going back underwater, right?
Yeah.
So that means that silent running can be used in 2 ways. It can be used aggressively to make it harder for people who are using advanced target computer, make yourself a little bit harder to hit by being careful when you fire and when you don't fire. Because when you fire, they get pips and so do you. It can also be used as a scouting tool, but as a scouting tool, you're not going to want to fire, right? So this way you can get it. But if you didn't get sort of that break every time you fired, then it would be almost impossible to use during combat, right? So this allows it both to be used aggressively and defensively and everything in between, which I think is kind of cool, while keeping it simple and easy to understand, right? So that's a huge change in terms of, I think, the sort of combat feel. Then the other change that happened, and these weren't really the biggest changes in terms of work, but they were the most impactful in terms of gameplay. The other one was power burn. Previously, if you use power burn, which is the forward only boost, and you ran out of energy, there was no downside. You wouldn't overheat. It wouldn't degrade. It used to overheat, but that was too problematic, too difficult, too punishing.
It was too difficult.
You would end up power burning yourself to death all the time without realizing it. And so now I found a sort of in between point. If you power burn and you run out of energy, it basically degrades to just being a forward boost. So you won't get that. You'll still get better performance that you're using regular thrust, but you won't get that extra speed and you won't get that extra acceleration that you would with power burning. You'll be getting the alarm going on energy depleted. So it's pretty obvious that, hey, you don't have any energy, so you're not getting the full benefit. So that was implemented, which I think is important because we're having some situations I noticed during combat where sort of the last 1% hull could be really hard to finish off, because when you're down to 1% hull, you naturally go into complete and utter survival mode, right? But then you have no penalty, so now this is much nicer. That means the attacker will be able to follow up on you with a power burn more easily, and you have to be more careful. And you can't power burn while silent running, which also helps make silent running more balanced, which means, yeah, you're harder to find, but when they find you, you can't just run away, right? You'll have to make yourself visible if you really want to run away. So that's nice. The other change was we introduced a new advanced target computer. I don't know if that was last week, but that means the last time you played, maybe there was difficulty settings. Were there still difficulty settings in the game?
Okay.
Yeah. So we had the difficulty settings, cadet, veteran, and ace. I basically figured out a way to get rid of the difficulty settings without getting rid of the value that they used to provide. And the main value they provided before is that each of those difficulty settings, it wasn't just about making the game harder, right? Just making the game arbitrarily harder really doesn't make that much sense on its own as a game design thing. You can always make anything harder, right? Give people less time to think, less time to react, but doesn't mean the game is better, right? So the main advantage of Cadet was obviously like ease of use, ease of getting into the game. It's familiar, right? You have a pit, people are used to that. It makes sure that the barrier to entry is not so hard that nobody ever plays the game, right? The big advantage of a veteran was it was a very unique and refreshing experience, right? You don't have a pip, you have to pay more attention how you fly, you have to aim differently. You could use the new lead ring, right? I think that's another new thing. We have the new lead ring to help you aim even if you don't have pips. But the biggest problem going from cadet to veteran was, well, it was a big kind of a clip. You go from like no pip, from pip to no pip is kind of a big deal. The lead ring helped with that, and that was part of this switch to when I introduced the lead ring, which is the new lead indicator. It's not a predicted impact point that shrinks. So it's a ring around your target that gets smaller and changes to white as your firing solution gets better. Now it gives you sort of a smooth learning curve from those two settings. And then the cool thing about Ace was having to deal with, a more limited HUD, right? Having to rely more on your contacts display, having to rely more on your radar, having to look around visually to look for visual cues to see where your enemies. So really relying even more on your sort of natural senses as a pilot and your use of instruments as a pilot. And that was sort of put into silent running. So now Cadet got put into the advanced star computer, Ace got put into silent running, and the lead ring sort of tied it all together in a nice package. So now we get.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now. Like, yeah, it's actually in the loadout menu. That's probably the best way you could have done it.
I really like it as well.
Yeah. So and that sort of stuff had been like running in my brain for over a month now. I don't know how long, but I hadn't gotten to it because there was more important things to do. But it was time. I didn't want to keep the difficult. Somebody most people were actually. Had gotten used to difficulty settings, and I always knew that whenever you introduce difficulty settings, it has its pros and its cons. And some people didn't like them, but this was like, oh man, I might have found the best of all worlds, right? That's what game design is about. It's like solving problems, making things better, right? Design. So I thought this was a good step forward in the design, so I really wanted to get it in.
Yeah. I've been playing Star Citizen, and they just went through this huge rebalance pass, and it feels
I wanted to
like
ask you about that because I saw your comment, or Amanda told me about your comment.
They
tell us about Star Citizen.
They
your
don't
thoughts on
play
that.
their game. Like, it's obvious they don't play their game. Like,
Alright, solve the problem.
I don't know. It's their idea of game development is they just hit a randomize button so many times until things work like that, and they have the money to do it, and so that's what they're doing. Like, I don't know.
It keeps things fresh and new.
Oh yeah.
If the devs don't know what they're doing, then you won't know either.
I don't have a strong opinion about what's going on. I don't know them that well, but I do know some of the people working on it that I've met over the internet. And so one thing I would say in their defense is that I think the new stuff might just be that it's not fully done yet, right?
Yeah,
I think the main thing is like Star Citizens. This is obvious. This anybody can say whether you play the game or not. They have a longer cycle where I'm doing like weekly builds and like I'll make a change the next day or even this very same day. They have a longer cycle and they're doing it internally and then put it out to the community. And it's also a much bigger game. So that could be part of the reason why it feels that way sometimes. And yeah. But so you didn't like the changes? I saw that Captain Burks, who has played HunterNet, seemed to be really happy with the new Star Citizen build, but you didn't seem happy. Was there something concrete other than random that it felt random to you, or was it something that did it make evasion too good or too bad, or what was it about it?
I shouldn't be so critical. Like, it's not the worst. They're making changes in the right direction, but some of their decisions are just it feels like completely random.
Just
That's what
baffling.
I should say. Yeah, and
It's
also
like
the
taking a step
desync,
forward while
they're-
taking 2 steps
the
back,
desync,
kind of.
Yeah,
They
the
didn't.
desync
They
is
didn't do
just-
anything to make that any better in this build.
They made it worse.
Oh, they made it worse. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But that's just like they're just holding off until they actually get their server architecture in place and whatever. And
Yeah.
that's what everyone tells themselves to make themselves be able to sleep at night. But I don't know.
Yep, that makes sense. I had a question, but I wanted to say something about the networking stuff. I might end up putting this in feedback, but is there a plan to move orgs and ranks to website? Yeah, it's definitely something that I've thought about doing in the past. I used to have a thing in the main menu where it's like reminding people to like, hey, if you want to look at the current stats, you need to use your the scanner array. If you look here on the stream in the lower left corner, scanner array and pilot intelligence reports. Pilot intelligence reports are like the current stat tracking. Makes sense for there eventually to be a web version, so when you're not in the game, you want to look at that stuff. The main thing is like figuring out what's the best way of pulling that information out of the servers and onto the website without putting too much of a load on the servers themselves, and like what website to host it in, how to host it. It's a lot of questions and just hasn't been a huge priority. So right now, if you wanted to look at the current stats, you want to go there to intelligence reports, access intelligence reports. You can do active to see everybody who's on the server and like, oh, let's look at Voxel stats. Let's look at gunmen's, right?
Sorry, mate.
That's right.
No problem. But yeah, definitely more of a web presence, just like we have that really cool cockpit theme editor that Ivan did. But taking some of the stuff that's in the game and make it available on the web would be super cool. And orgs in general is an area that we definitely want to invest more into, above and beyond what we have currently in the game.
Is there a way to see the enemy health bars, or did you disable that?
If you want to look at your enemy health bars, you need to look at just like you look at your left display to see your health and your energy in your hull. You need to look at the right display to look at your enemy's energy and hull.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, it's decentralized, basically.
Okay.
So you gotta. I think all of us were pretty used to glancing at the left display for our own status.
Yeah.
Now we have to get used to looking at the right display for the enemy status. But there is a way to get the status without looking at that. You'll notice if you have somebody targeted that they have an asterisk next to their name, right? If they're within 4 kilometers, they have 2 asterisks. If they're more than
the
4
star
kilometers away,
looking
they get
thing.
1. Asterisk is a star, the little star in
Yeah.
front of their name, right? If that thing blinks, then that's a reminder that they're at half hull, right? So if they have more than 50% hull, it won't be blinking. If they're below 50% hull, it'll blink. If they're below,
for example, has
75% hull, then it blinks twice as fast. So that's to sort of give you a very rough approximation, but if you really want to know exactly how much energy they have, exactly how much hold they have, then you should be looking at the display.
What
That's
is the
by
difference
design,
between 1 and 2 stars flickering then?
The number of stars is just how far away they are. If 1 star means they're 4 to 8 kilometers away from you, the people's names only show up to 8 kilometers, right? And then so halfway, once they're half that distance, you'll get 2 stars. It gets bigger, right? It's farther away, smaller, closer up, bigger. It's also on the contacts list. So if you let that contacts list shows you sort of priority targets within 8 kilometers of you, and by looking at that list without having a number of meters beside every single person, you can say, oh, Maxi is 2 stars away from me. So that means he's within 4 kilometers. If I see 1 star, then oh, Maxi's at least 4 kilometers away from me. So you get a very a rough approximation that way. The other thing is your pips and your lead ring show up at weapons distance. So if you see that lead and pip ring, that's another sort of distance estimate. You want to see a more accurate distance than you look at the display, right? Yeah. So your instruments are there, and you need to glance at them, but there's enough information you don't need to be staring at them the whole time either. Sort of a trade-off. So that's that. So Rui, and there was anything else? Oh yeah. So in terms of the network stuff, I mean that stuff is hard. I did see on one of the discords I'm on, somebody said that the head count for Star Citizen is like 720 people. They're making a more massive game, and they have like 20 people working on the networking stuff alone.
Yeah, it's,
So
it's wild.
it's just a different scale of project than what I'm doing. But for me, like I've been focusing on making sure our netcode was really solid at the current scale. And like the stuff I worked on behind the scenes is like we're going to an open world game. I want to make sure that our quality networking extends to everything we do going forward. And you know, a lot of what I've been focusing on, actually not this month, but even the previous month, was like, okay, making sure when we do have this bigger open world that our networking doesn't tank and take a nosedive, right? That the game continues to run smoothly, because I can't afford to have the game fall apart, right? I don't have unlimited money or time. Well, I have very little money and I have limited, so I need to keep the game sort of in a fun, playable state. Otherwise, it really has a huge impact. They have a lot more freedom than I do in that regard.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think the major issue that you're gonna see with Star Citizen, at least in the future, is they have a game where the time to kill is pretty much the same as this. Like it's about you can have some longer engagements, but if you fuck up and you make one bad pass, you're dead in 5 seconds, right? Well then, you wake up from your bed, you got to spend a minute in the elevator, you got to spend 3 minutes waiting for your you got 3 minutes waiting for your shift, and then you got to spend another minute in the elevator down to the landing pad, and then you got to boot up your ship and get all your MFDs configured how you like it, and like and it takes about 8 minutes to get back in the air again after you've died in 5 seconds, and then like they're adding like permadeath mechanics and like physicalized inventory and stuff, and it's like with a show like that, like who's gonna ever fight each other? Like I don't know.
Well, I thought you were used to that from Elite Dangerous. Don't they have?
Oh, they asked for that. They didn't get it.
Rebuy is like no big deal.
You respawn and you fucking
just
take off and
rebuy
go-
in Elite, and then you can just go to the system, huh?
Yeah, and like if that's the thing about Elite. Like
Oh
if you
yeah, the
spend
time sync was more like if you had trouble getting into the same network instance, it wasn't really.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game.
that's the thing with Elite. You may
That's what it
spend
was.
2 hours, sure, looking for a fight because nobody fucking instances with you. But the thing is, like, if you do get a fight, like you're gonna be there for a good 15 minutes. Like, it's gonna be a fucking battle.
Yeah, that's what balances it out.
And there's a famous block list as well now, Rui, isn't there? So if anyone puts you on a block list in Elite Dangerous now, you will not instance with them. If they block you on chat, they can actually use that to stop you from instancing with people.
Yep.
Wasn't that what
people
private
like,
groups were for?
Yeah, there's someone like there's a streamer that blocks every single person he dies to, and he's a gang. So it's like, what the fuck is?
Yeah, that is definitely. Yeah, that's definitely very different from my own philosophy for HunterNet.
And well, you
I
gotta
don't
remember,
have I ain't have time for that. I'll just put it that way. Some people have time for that, but I do not have time for that.
Taking the open out of open.
PvP players, though, is the thing. So that's the difference.
It's different. I mean, with the open world design, you're gonna have there's gonna be some game design issues you have to take into consideration. Like, if you're attacking a deep enemy territory and you die, you don't want people to just be all the forces you wiped out be there 1 second later, because then it's like, what's the point of me killing them if they just come right back? So there might be some game design reasons to do that, but it would be only from the context of what makes sense in terms of a larger factional war over multiple systems. And I always plan on keeping the ability to have short matches like we have here. Hold on a second, I have a phone call from my mom. It's kind of important. I'm gonna mute myself.
Always important.
That's the thing, though. It's like this game. It's fun. It's fun to go fight people and fly, and like I don't know. You're not gonna deal with like 8 minutes of bullshit.
The quality of life is better, is what you're trying to say.
Very true.
So, sniper when?
No, we're not having snipping.
Yeah, railgun? Anyone?
No! Unless it's like Elite Dangerous railgun, which I don't have too much of a problem with. But it's not going to be hit scan, though. It's just going to be really fast. Still won't be hit scan.
Like I think
That will be a
you
little
could
bit
have
ridiculous.
like you in a game like this, you could have a hit scan weapon if it was purely utility. Like for example, you fired it and then like your next
Oh, the healing.
projectile did more damage or something. Like
The healing.
Yeah, but no, not healing. No.
Hey,
Oh.
Skip Trace had a question
No.
there on chat. I should probably address it real quick. So Skip Trace said, "I'm flying a spaceship in the future. I should be immune to G forces." Well,
Well, we have a game mode for that.
yeah. There is remote pilot you can turn on. Fun is relative. So I normally don't. When I'm talking about game design, I try to avoid using just fun because it's like tasty, right?
It's like
What's tasty to you might not be tasty to some other guy.
Nah,
So
this is
the reason we-
objectively more fun. I can
Yeah, so
assure
the
you.
G forces are in there. Now, is it realistic? I don't. They're realistic in one sense that in reality there are G forces, right? And human beings are sensitive to G forces, and they can cause blackout, and you can be knocked off unconscious. What I think what you meant are they realistic? Like if we're in the future, shouldn't we have figured out a fix for that? And it's like, sure, maybe they have better. Modern day fighter pilots have flight suits to help them deal with G forces and pull more G's than a World War II pilot could have pulled without a flight suit. That's true. But when I looked at G forces and anything having really to do with realism in the game, I'm not looking at reality and say, okay, how fast is a laser in real life? What I'm looking at is more. It's more.
Oh,
How can I take inspiration from reality to make a fun and interesting challenge, right? I'd use the word fun there. But the fun part is subjective, but we do know that what people generally react to in terms of fun in a broad sense is like challenge, skill building, right? And that is pretty clear that, dealing with G forces, learning how to push more Gs without losing control of your pilot, without having him black out, is a skill-based activity that you can get better at over time. That has impact on strategy, right? It affects, if you can pour more Gs into enemy, or if you can pull Gs in a different direction, it has an impact on the dance of the combat, right? So that's why G forces are in there, and then they've been tuned. When I first implemented G forces, I looked at videos of Air Force pilots, NASA pilots. I looked at charts and stuff like that, just to get a general idea how they work. But the actual values have nothing to do with that. They were just tuned based on what I found fun and interesting.
Yeah.
In fact, these ships can pull some ridiculous Gs that you'd have to have some pretty good future space magic for your pilot to even pull the kind of Gs.
Or he could just be a
cosmonaut. Right?
cosmonaut.
But what I will say is that it's a very common complaint for new players because almost all space games, either if they do have G forces, they just don't play that big a role as they do in HunterNet. I don't think there's any game where they play as big a role as HunterNet today. Maybe in the past, but definitely not today. Not that I know of, at least public games. And the other thing I've noticed is like 99% of the time, they get used to it. You get better at it. I find any challenge gets frustrating. So what I recommend is on the Discord, enter !Gload and you'll get some help on how to deal with it. You can use DMP, GAT, and ATC. That's what I recommend. You have 3 hard points, right? So try weapon, DMP, ATC.
That's the quality of life
sort of
loadout.
beginner.
I mean, Vulcan might be even better than GAT, but in terms of quality of life, if you just want, like, what's the easiest thing to learn?
You're having trouble with G forces where you're actually blacking out and losing consciousness.
Ship.
I don't know.
It's pretty subjective, right?
What it does is it forces you not to just fly in the same direction, orbiting around people. That's the problem a lot of these like 6-degree freedom games have, is like you just get stuck in an orbit around someone, and then that's the game. Like that's combat, and that's not fun. It's not interesting. It's the same interaction every single time.
It's kind of where Star Conflict kind of is.
I mean, think of it this way: like if you're in a car in a real life race, G forces plays a role there, right? And a lot of people find that fun, right? Not everybody does. That's fine. Some people might find even go-kart racing, when you're getting slammed around a go-kart, is really annoying, make you sore. You're playing a World War II or even modern jet, G forces definitely play a role there, right? Pilots can black out, they can red out.
Yeah, and we're not just saying this because we're like, oh, we're so skillful and we're better. Like, it honestly, it adds a lot of a lot to the pilot.
I've been playing for a year and I still don't
Right.
really understand how it
It's
works
not about
exactly.
advantage, it's the complete opposites.
I just kind of survive.
It's a game of skill, so it's a challenge, right? G-forces adds a challenge, just like having to aim. You know, because for example, Hunter Knight could have auto gimbals where the gun aims left and right for you, right? And that would make it easier, right? It wouldn't, you know, and somebody could say, oh, why don't you what's the point of having fixed weapons? What's the advantage of having those over gimbals? Surely in the future they will have gimbals, right? Well, the whole point is we don't have gimbals, so that you have the extra challenge of having to aim yourself instead of the gimbals aiming for you.
Yeah.
Now I have a question about the crosshair. So if you look right in the sun, you barely can see your crosshair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
is that intentional?
That's intentional, yeah. So like,
oh no.
When I first changed the crosshair, it was completely invisible in the sun. Now it's affected by the glare, right? But you can still see it.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the if you have the ATC on, so the thingy, the lead indicator, and if they fly straight in the sun, you cannot see it anymore.
Yeah, so
maybe
you have to rely on your eyeballs. Like I said, I've said many times before, this game is inspired by World War II, and in World War II, you know, there's a reason people come out of the sun. If in the future we have fog, and you go into a fog, the fog will make it harder for you to see things too. So having to deal with things being more difficult to see when there's a bright light in front of you, when there's an explosion in your face, when somebody's in the shadows and they're silent running, it's just the same as any other shooter where, you know, visuals play a role in strategy and combat and in challenge.
All right. If it's intentional.
Skip Trace, I really think you should look at the G-Load. Look at the fighter training channel on the Discord. We have lots of HOTAS players playing with full throttle.
Yeah.
Read the tips. You can manage those G-forces and learn to deal with them, especially if you read how it works, right?
Yeah, you need to understand how it works before you can actually
play the bomb and learn to deal with them.
I was originally using the dampener, but I don't need it anymore. It's all about counteracting the G-forces. Just if you're getting the G-forces, just go the other way.
Yeah, it's as simple as just boosting. You're using your thrusters in the other direction.
Yeah. The other thing that would help Skip Trace, like think of it this way: whenever G-forces are about acceleration, right? So whenever you accelerate, the fluids in your body are getting pushed around, right? So if you accelerate up, they get pushed to your feet, and vice versa, right? They get pushed forward, back, left, right, and that's really bad for the human body, right? So if you're not accelerating, then there's no G-forces, right? So if you're using flight assist and you're boosting forward and you turn, then the flight assist is gonna try to switch you to a new vector. So an easy way to go forward without blacking out is turn off flight assist, boost. Once you reach whatever speed you want, you will experience 0 G-forces and you will not black out, right? The other way is what Dr. Claw was saying. If you're pushing a lot of G-forces going forward, then accelerate in the opposite direction. That will push your blood in your body back to the center, back towards your heart, and help you stay conscious. The other thing you can do if you're accelerating forward, switch your direction of acceleration to the side. If you're accelerating to the sides, switch up. Distribute the G-forces around. But really, all that is covered on the Discord, and I think we've gone into a lot in the stream. But I just recommend don't give up. Like I said, 99% of people get used to it, and then they end up appreciating it for what it is. You know, first impressions aren't always correct impressions. If you keep playing the game and you after weeks and after having read learning how the mechanic works, you still think it's the worst thing in the world, then feel free to leave me feedback on the feedback channel.
Yeah. It definitely, like, until you understand it, it definitely feels a lot more punishing than it actually is. Like, once you understand how to fight against it, it's really almost not a limiting factor. Like, some people are fucking saying that it should be worse than it is.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I think I'm in that category. Need to be more strict.
When you're trying to duel 2 people and you're like on the verge of blacking out, but you're just able to outmaneuver the other person and evade them, it's really satisfying. Especially sometimes you get a kill as you black out. It's just so much fun.
Yep. No, Box really nailed it there. I mean, it's not just the challenge; it's also the satisfaction that you get from like getting those crazy ass shots. Like, I was like 1 inch from losing my vision and blacking out, and I hit the guy blind. You can even get blind kills, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's challenging, but that's the whole point. Like, you put some good hours into it, practicing with your friends, and you get really good. And then you've got like a big advantage over like new players who don't know how to control it as well.
I think it
also
also
helps as a
reduces
sort of a
APM.
feedback thing. Like
overhead.
in real life, if you were in a plane, you could feel the G-forces, right? And that would tell you, okay, my plane is turning left. In this world, since we're not in a real cockpit, you can't feel it, but at least now you can see it, and I can see, okay, I'm really pushing my machine. Skip Trace just left the game, but I don't know if he's listening on stream, but
might be. Who knows?
But yeah, I think we covered that pretty well, guys. Do you want to do a team match, guys? We had a lot of time to warm up. Yeah,
I'm
let's do
dealing at
a
Star
team match.
Staff first, but he will finish me quickly. It seems. Calm down.
Oh,
got him.
So for the let's think what I want to do for the team fights. Besides try to figure, getting the teams relatively balanced, I want to do A/B testing, where we get the teams relatively balanced, and then we take turns with different loadouts, the opposite loadouts. So let's say one team was using advanced target computers. This is just an example. The other team is not using advanced target computers. That way we can sort of both see what it is to be using it and not using it. And I was thinking maybe it could be one team has to equip advanced target computer, and the other team has to equip silent running. Something like that would be a really cool experiment to run. What do you guys think?
Is there a button bind for silent running? Because I tried it earlier.
And it's the same as firing any weapon, so whatever weapon it's set to, 1, 2, or 3.
So when it starts overheating, how do you stop it?
Turn it.
Higher the hard point again.
Yeah, you turn it. What Maxi was saying. So if you're overheating, there's 2 options. Box. You can fire, which will turn it off for half a second, and it also so it happens automatically. So every time you fire, you reveal yourself, and that also cools you off. Okay, a little bit. Or you can just turn it off by pressing the button again, the silent running button, the same one. There is. You have 3 buttons, right? Fire 1, fire 2, fire 3. There is no dedicated button for it. It's the same as Gatlin, LRM, SRM. It's whatever.
Okay, so now it's whatever.
It's just equipment.
Fire that hard one, right?
Yep, and that's what it toggles on the display. Just like when LRM is like reloading, it becomes outlined. When it's off, it's outlined. When it's on, it's solid. So it's just an equipment. So it's like a.
I get it. Yeah.
You get it? So it's
yeah.
like.
Sorry, I was confused because it used to be a separate like keybind.
Yeah, it used to be more complicated than it needed to be. Yeah, I wanted it simple. Before we had like a special key for silent running mode, which was optional because you could do it.
A special key for refitting your engines for
Yeah,
quick, a
we
special
had-
key for refitting for strafe, and then you had customization for how you'd want every axis of movement to be the fast or the slow, and that would change your top speed, so your top speed could be like 6 different values for every ship for the light, heavy, and bomber.
Yeah, that was way too complicated.
Yeah, it
So
didn't really add anything.
So you turn it on and off, or just fire your weapons. Whenever you fire your weapons, it momentarily makes you visible on radar and on the contacts display. So think of it, you can use it in 2 ways. You can use it to sneak around, in which case you definitely don't want to fire because you don't want to reveal yourself, but you can't use power burn. Or you can use it in combat to mess with other people's pips, but every time you fire, you will release some of that heat, which you're naturally going to do during combat anyways, but you're also going to reveal yourself whenever you fire, right? So, okay, so let's...
Small question. Do you have any type of sniper weapon in mind?
The LRM is your sniper weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, no direct fire style. Although I would kind of, I don't know how well.
Well, I mean, who knows? I would never say never, but
It's not the same about shotgun.
If any new weapon is coming into the game, it's definitely going to be the...
I mean, you could make an insanely risky sniper weapon. Like, you make a railgun where it's, at most 50% more projectile speed than the flak, but if you shoot it one time, it drains your entire energy bar. And it does a little bit more than an HVC. Like, this is something insanely risky to you.
That would be like, you charge it up, it uses energy while you're charging up, and if you cancel that shot, like, all that energy is wasted or something. Like, it takes a second. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting ways you can
I feel like the main thing is you have to make it insanely risky to use, so you can't just like snipe and get free damage on people and never be in any danger yourself. It should be where if you use it, you're putting yourself in a lot of harm's way if someone manages to sneak up on you.
Yeah.
Or just decide to engage you in normal combat, you're suddenly at a big disadvantage. Because if you only put the sniper on, it's going to be worse than every other weapon that someone would normally have.
How many people we got? We got
Ideally.
8 people, so we can do a 4v4, okay? Here, let's see what the teams are going to be. Wow. Let's see.
I want Starstep Ivan.
Yeah, I like the idea of it charging.
Starstep and Ivan aren't here. They left. We have Rui, Dr. Claw, Maxi, you, Buxel, me, Craze Gunman, Days Gambler, and Renzo. How about
Renzo?
Me, Rui, Craze Gunman, and Days Gambler versus Dr. Claw, Maxi, Renzo, and Buxel. And we can rebalance it. We'll do a 6-minute match quick. So we'll switch. My team will switch. So Gunman switch, Rui switch, Days switch, right? Bottom of refit menu. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and those are the teams. I'm gonna get a glass of water. Strike. Yeah. Railguns. Who knows? Oh. Shoot, I'm in the enemy.
Oh.
You have to remember this.
Forgot the move to the.
Let me get over to the other side of the map.
So the nice thing about the weapons in the game right now is you have a chance to react after someone starts shooting you.
Yeah.
Whereas like something like that, where if you like lose half your health from one shot, then it's like, oh.
That's the simplest way I can put it, Rui. I think is like think of sniper rifles in regular first-person shooters and how often they are a source of like complaints and debates and balancing issues, and that's in a world where there is tons of natural cover all over the place, right? And it's not 6 degrees of freedom, and you know it's mainly on a flat plane, right? And you're not dealing with G-forces and all the other shit that we have to, sorry my language, that we have to deal with. So instant hit weapons are, not that it can't be done. Obviously, Elite does it, and it seems like it does it pretty well. But it's like, is it a can of worms that is worth opening it? And like, you always have to take any single change and balance it against every other thing that you could possibly do. There's other weapons that can be added, other features that can be added. So it's like, is a railgun really that big a deal? That
Yeah.
That's where I find it. I'm skeptical about it.
I think potentially.
I'm gonna get some water.
So I don't know. It's something it should like. If you suddenly had a crazy fever dream and you had the best idea ever, then you should probably act on it. But otherwise, it's probably just.
Yeah, good man. You already know why I want the railgun. So.
Yeah, I know why you want a railgun. So I am very aware of what would happen if you got a sniping weapon. It's like everything that was in your line of sight would die, basically. Not at first, though. I mean, you have to learn how to use it for like a
hitting
day.
a Starstep will be a lot more difficult, but it will do the job.
Why is my... Oh.
God damn it. Starstep, why do you need to be so good at the game?
There we go. I was trying to figure out why my flight assist was fucked up.
Oh yeah, I've been on full flight assist off for a while, and it's slowly driving me crazy, but...
Carbide is sending me Godbands. She says, England fans currently booing the Italian national anthem. We nearly got kicked out after booing Denmark's.
Oh, what?
You're not actually being attacked.
Actually, do I want to watch the final? It's today the final of the soccer.
Yeah, football. Whichever one you're used to.
And 3 minutes it starts. Do I want to watch or not?
I don't care.
It's England versus Italy.
So, two of the nations that care the most about football, basically.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Do you want to watch or not?
Well, I mean, Brazil cares a lot too, and
I
they're
still
not.
have 3 minutes time to decide on that.
The level of caring's quite high.
It's called football because you kick it with your foot.
Yeah.
In America, it's called football because you kick it with your foot sometimes.
Oh yeah, Gunman, about Titan Quest. You know the Mirror Knights, the mod?
Yeah.
Well, I tried to do the reflection damage, but it does not work on ranged units. Sadly.
Okay.
So I was getting fucked over, I had to delete the character. I could not defeat the first boss with it.
Maybe there's a skill you have.
Maybe.
That's like specific for ranged attacks.
I'm gonna split us up into different voice chats. What we're gonna do is, this is the rule. One team has to use advanced target computers, but not silent running. And the other team has to use silent running, but not advanced target computer. And then you cannot use all fixed weapons that you use have to be. You can't use any weapon up in the loadout list, the refit list. You have to pick something heavy cannon or lower on the list. So nothing above heavy cannon. So that means no Vol, no Gat, no Flak, right? You can use SRMs, LRMs, heavy cannons, plasma cannons, heat sinks, hull, whatever, but everything heavy cannon and lower. Which team wants to be this? We'll be the silent running team first, I think, and then you guys be the advanced target computer team, and then we'll swap loadouts. Sounds good. And let me put you into different voice chats. I'm gonna put your team on the other voice chat so I can listen on to other people here. Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
Neat.
Renzo.
Oh shit! I need to find a key for silent running. Oh god.
Actually, I'm going to watch the fight.
It's fire 1, fire 2, fire 3, whatever, you know, like I use left click, right click, and a side button for me. Okay, Rui. I think it's the first time you join us for a team match like this, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you have to actually find into a fire group. Oh shit. Okay, hold on.
Well, we have Craze Gunman.
Yeah, yeah. I'm using
okay,
Platinum.
You'll notice that the game should have auto-assigned us to 1, 2, and 3 as your wingmen. So you'll see 1, 2, and 3. So as long as we're within 8 kilometers of one another, we should always show up on the contacts array on the right at the top. Okay. Very useful, and you can target us from that list. If you close your ship's menu, then you can use the same menu keys, you know, menu up, menu down, to cycle through the contacts in the contacts list. Or you can press 1, 2, 3 on the keyboard. What are you using, Days? I didn't see. What are your what's your loadout? Days is using LRM, SLR, DMP.
Alright.
I recommend maybe replacing that DMP with the rock. You're silent running, you don't have to pull that many Gs most of the time. But
there's a Renzo around here somewhere.
Let me switch my loadout since I do have to have silent running.
And a Maxi apparently.
Oh shit.
Oh no, he's 4 kilometers.
I'm using plasma cannon boost SLR.
Yeah, I'm using plasma cannon SLR hull. I should really be using heavy cannon, but I wanted to use platinum.
Okay. Oh. Wait, I put it back to break. So in terms of general strategy, Rui, besides sticking close together, you'll notice that in the center of the map, they won. In the center of the map, there's a big asteroid with like a hole going through it.
Yeah.
You see that up ahead? Think of that as sort of the middle line of this map. Avoid crossing that line unless you're going with us and we have a reason to go to the other side, right?
Alright.
And the capital ships are pretty strong. So if an enemy is flying towards an enemy capital ship, it can be worth it to finish them off and kill them, prevent them from destroying. But keep in mind that, you know, don't loiter too long around the capital ship because they'll start, you know, they won't kill you instantly if you're careful, but they will start giving them the advantage, especially when you combine the capital ship plus them spawning closer to that side of the base. Avoid that. And then let's see what's your. Where are you?
I'm right behind you. Hello.
Right behind me.
Now I'm. Oh, well, I was where you were before now.
There you are. Okay, there you are. And you're in a heavy with heavy cannon, plasma cannon. Okay, you're same as me, except you're in a heavy. And then again, guys, firing your weapons will cool you down, but temporarily reveal you. But if you're not firing, they're gonna have to manually aim, and so that's pretty good, especially with these slower weapons.
Okay, but we have to manually aim too, so.
Okay, let's see if they're ready. And let me look at the rules, make sure that repair on kills off.
There's always a Renzo nearby.
On. Battleship turrets are on. Okay. Okay. I'll let it start on 10. Keep an eye out. There's an enemy nearby, Renzo. Yep. Already saw him. He's 4 clicks up into our right.
And he's gone.
Oh, and the names blink if the person's silent running. Not the symbol, but the name itself, right? Okay, let's stick together. Rui, you already went straight to the center of the map by yourself. Keep an eye out. Okay, we got Dr. Claw. Maybe we should go for him. He came in by himself. He's above you and Gunman, Rui.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can.
I see him.
I'm gonna getting closer. 1,000. Okay, he's engaging. I'm engaging him.
Alright, we're ready to engage.
Oh, I already have another one on my 6. I'm breaking off.
Okay. I'll cover you.
Box.
Yeah, I got Maxi here. I'm gonna engage him.
If you do start getting the little audio alarm for heat, it's definitely worth turning it off rather than taking heat damage. Ooh, Maxi got me. I'm down.
Yeah.
And these are very good players. Box, Maxi, and Renzo are all super good. Dr. Claw's probably the weakest player on the enemy team. Okay. If anybody's low on the enemy, call it out. Okay. Good luck. Thank you, Strike. I'm going for Maxi.
Yep, same.
Okay. 2-2. They got 2 turrets, but we're pretty close. Maxi.
And it's still on turrets or no?
Kind of a chase for Maxi. I don't know if I want to continue this.
Oh,
Yeah, you
Boxel's there too. Oh, he's being repaired by Box.
You both have Renzo behind you.
Renzo's on our 6?
Yes. He's attacking Ruby right now.
Hey, we should probably head towards Gunman.
Oh, I'm already here, yeah.
Okay, we're already close. Okay, good.
I'm on Renzo, who's still after Ruby.
Alright, done with here. Voxel's wearing healers, but that's kind of a waste. Oh, he's not just healing.
Oh my god. This is so hard.
Yeah.
Look at this team.
To me, it's just normal.
To you, it's normal. To me, it isn't. But I am running silent running against Maxi. It does seem to be helping. I know he normally uses pips, so. Wow, he killed me. Okay, 3-2.
Wait, why does Boxel have a Vulcan?
He has a Vulcan?
Yeah.
Dirty cheater.
Cheater! Ah! I just wasn't paying attention that time.
Guys, let's group up back home, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly towards our capital ship and I'll protect you.
Oh, no, they got me.
Oh, they got you. Got
Alright, I'm flying
into
back.
enemy territory and the rest of us are all back home. Bring them in. We want to drag them home. They're up by 1. Each human is worth 10 points, so it's 4-3. Turrets are worth 1. Okay. Box is here. Is he still using a Vulcan? And Rui's already critical as shit.
Wow, I died so fast there.
Oh yeah, Plasma's no joke.
Plasma's the highest DPS weapon in the game, so if anybody's using that against you.
Hard time finding a use case for silent running.
I think in this scenario, with all of us using it, maybe not the best strategy. If we all use it, it's almost like none of us are using it.
Yeah, it's just like hard to find a compliment for it. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's good. That means it's a specialized thing. It's not a thing that you all pick and it makes you all better.
The best use I've had for it is actually only turning it on when I get close to them to make it harder for them to aim at me. That has been pretty.
I think the other problem, I don't think anyone here has ever used it to sneak around, which is like half the function of it anyway.
Yeah, and I'm not really sneaking either, so don't use it so much for sneaking. Use it to make it harder for the other guy. And make sure you turn it off if your heat gets above 50%. And it doesn't help that Fox is one of the best players and he's using Bull.
Got him.
Still.
Oh, and somebody put the time limit to 12 minutes. We'll end at...
I gotta max. Does anyone need help right now?
I forgot that it was set to extra.
I really used the loads.
I'm going against... I'm going for Renzo.
Oh, claws on.
Daze, fly towards me, Daze.
Got him.
Nice shot. I need to repair.
I can help with Renzo.
You can also tell if somebody has you targeted by looking at the
Renzo has a Gatling gun. I hate this team. They all cheat.
He has a Gat too. They were not paying attention to what I said at all. So yeah, so we're not doing so bad considering that they're not even following the rules. Okay.
Like
End of match.
It's not like the cannons and everything is bad.
We won.
It's like we win by default anyway.
We actually won because I said it was gonna end at 6 minutes, and they were all breaking the rules. I'm gonna bring them here for a second.
Sorry, I didn't get to know about the
No problem. I saw that you were using Bull. Renzo is using Gat. So yeah, I personally wanted us to try the slower weapons on both sides. So anything below, you can equip anything below heavy cannon or lower on the list, and you have to use advanced sharpshooter.
I was fighting Renzo. It's like, wow, I really suck at dodging plasma. That's not plasma. That's a Gat.
Yeah, that's the tower. I don't know. Maybe silent running was. I was thinking about it wrong. I think, like you said, use it when you're up close, not to sneak in to the battle.
Although you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, you can use it to sneak, but it's but I felt like, well, we'll talk about when we switch our strategy. I was already learning some new techniques, and keep in mind, this is useful for the other guys. You can tell if somebody has you targeted. By the way, Rui, on the left display, you see where it says LCK, right below your heat and power bar, right above your loadout. LCK short for lock, and then SIG short for heat signature. If somebody has you targeted, the lock will turn white, right? If an enemy has you targeted, it'll turn white, right?
Something to consider is so how it works in Elite Dangerous is when you're firing in silent running, only the person you currently have targeted can actually see you pop up. And so it kind of like forces a duel almost.
Right. That's interesting.
I don't know, something to consider, but I don't know if that's what you want to do with it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I thought about that, but I'll think about it some more. But that is interesting. The current idea is it's global, so it's shooting basically is a way to it just temporarily gets you out of silent running. But what I want to say, that lock light turns on when somebody has you targeted. When you're silent running, normally when you attack somebody from behind, they can press smart target to target the attacker, or they can press like nearest enemy to target the guy behind you. If you sneak up, if you see somebody, you're going to help a friend and you power burn to get fast and you're going towards them and you notice nobody has you targeted yet, going into silent running a little bit early as you're approaching them, actually as a way of sneaking in so they don't see you on the radar, they don't see you on the contacts array, can actually be super useful. It just, but you gotta actively manage it. It's not, what I noticed was really bad is if you just turn on silent running and silent run the whole time, that ain't gonna work. You gotta turn it off, know when to turn it on, and not run it all the time. Also, because our entire team was silent running, that kind of changed the strategy. But let's do another one, guys, and then we'll switch. We'll be the advanced targeting computer team. Okay.
All right.
Happy to oblige.
Also, I'm doing a 6-minute match so that we can go through these more quickly. Okay.
Yeah, I can do like 2 more, then I gotta get going, I think. So.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I'm probably not here forever either.
Roger, Klopp. We'll try to keep the pace up.
Yeah. So it's like we definitely get one more then.
Okay.
I switched to heavy cannon.
Oh, all right. I forgot to change the time limit. Sorry. Okay. There we go. Ooh, let's stick together, guys.
Got a Renzo coming in the middle above.
Yep. What's going on, Renzo?
And then I'm looking for anything else.
Oh. I'm using it also to survey the battlefield. Since our radar and scanner still works when we're silent running. I see Renzo. Oh, I found another one, Boxel. I'm switching to Boxel. And he flew right past me, he didn't realize I was silent running. Okay, getting out of silent running and attacking him. He's going towards you, Gunman. You got a Boxel heading towards your 6.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna engage him together, Fernando.
I made him a stock guy.
Maybe flip around. I think
What's Renzo's status? Is he low?
Yeah, he's about.
I have Maxi on my 6, so I'm gonna switch around and go to Maxi instead. You keep going for Box if you want. Rui, I'm switching to Maxi.
Yeah, Maxi, he was on me too, so he peeled both of us off.
Fix it.
Oh, did he just crash into you?
There we go.
Yeah, I just fucking ran him over.
Yeah, you run over. Good job. That's our first kill. We'll take it. Okay, I'm on Renzo.
Yeah,
going through the gap. He's heading towards his base. Oh, he's low. I'll chase him home with silent running and see if it. Also, silent running will not give you away on the capital ships.
You do have a box on you, Fernando.
Oh, I do. Good thing I didn't see him. Yeah. There's definitely room for stealth in this game, even without silent running. Okay. Yeah, I have Maxi on me too.
Yeah, I'm gonna engage Maxi. He will run me hopefully.
Wow.
Oh, he's still on you. He's not fucking peeling.
Yeah.
Feels like I have a lot of stuff on me. I can't.
Guys. Yeah, SLR protects you from LRMs. They'll still track, but they don't track as well. Basically, engaging us silent running makes LRMs better. I don't know what you mean. Tell me later, man. We're in a little fight right now.
Shots with the plasma.
It's 2-2. Now keep an eye on your energy. That makes a huge difference as to how much you take from those plasma cannon shots. You might also try swapping out that hull for a boost for better acceleration on your heavy, because the best way to deal with plasmas is to avoid them since they're kind of slow.
Yeah, well, I mean that goes with everything in this because we're all using slow stuff.
But it's easy. It's more effective against plasma because they're easier to avoid. That's what I feel.
Wow. Here, buddy. Got him. Got him slacking.
How am I doing that for? That's smart.
Voxel's on me. He's smart enough. I'm low. Anyone want to peel off me?
How did? Oh, LRMs. Daisy got Renzo with the alarm. Good job, man. 2-4.
Trying to escape. other side of the map, so keep that in mind.
I will. We're winning, so it's okay. We have that margin of victory still.
Gunman and I are probably both heading back though.
I'm trying to head back, but I have so much aggro.
We don't get caught in that 2v4. Let's pull back.
Alright, I lost it.
Silent Running
Days,
actually not
Renzo's
too
after
bad.
you right now.
Got Maxi. Ah, shoot, I'm in trouble now. Oh, Box finished me off.
Oh, hi.
Hello, who was that?
It's Kenobi.
Oh, it's Kenobi. Hey,
England.
Kenobi.
Not zero. Fuck Italian.
I got a phone call. Let's go.
And both sides are playing very dirty again.
I feel like I have 3 people on me.
I think you
You
might.
do
I'm
have
heading
to
towards you.
respond, you do.
Oh, I'm just gonna
I'll
fly
stay
around
on.
the battleship for a while.
Oh.
There's Dr. Claw.
Well, I'm not looking good.
Head for a landing. Go into the interior of the capital ship. That could be a good way to lose them.
Alright, I'm gonna try to repair because I'm almost dead.
I'm trying to lose on the rock. I have no energy though.
13 seconds, 12 seconds. We're up by 3, so we got this one.
Okay, yeah. Damn, they got me.
Okay, we're up by 2.
Yeah, kill counts are actually pretty low, all things considered.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
time
a
to
lot
kill
of
is low. There's no
evasion
need to kill
happening.
people, right? If you stand still, the time to kill is slow. Okay. Okay.
Oh my goodness. That felt like I had people after me the entire time.
Alright.
That really felt like a lot of pressure.
Yeah, maybe we could also mix up the teams, or I don't know, maybe we just get these
Good.
rapid fire.
Let me
away.
see.
Go with it. I hope England wins Gunman, because they are a non-European country. Carmine will be really happy. Oh, it was in minute 2 that they scored. Okay.
Helmet ship. Lysistan is so weak.
Hey, Days, expect Cammy to be very patriotic tonight.
Is gonna come speaking British or something. It's gonna have
Bloody
a
hell,
really
mate.
thick accent this time.
Bloody hell, mate. Oh, Italian down. Italian down. Oh, boo. Bro's booing.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, he's crying. He's crying on the ground. Oh. Poor guy.
You love to see it.
His knee is broken, I guess.
Alright, let's fucking go.
Let's go, even though Fernando's in the wrong chat, sure, what? Makes sense to me.
What's he doing?
Telling them the plan on the rules of the game. Except it takes 5 years to explain. There's a Renzo on the base again.
There's always a Renzo on the base.
Yeah, it never goes away.
Alright.
Okay, I was just giving them some quick tips. Let's regroup and refit.
And we're on ATC, right?
Yeah, we're ATC.
Okay.
Hey, Fernando, question for you.
Yeah.
Who needs to win, England or Italy?
I'm not a football guy.
Yeah, but who are you rooting for? I'm rooting for England.
I would say I'm probably rooting for Italy because it's
Well,
that's what
it's
most of
Europe
my
versus
family's rooting
non-Europe, so.
It's European country.
Yeah.
England left the Union.
Yeah.
I hope England
I
There's
think
beef.
that's why everybody is saying that. But then I think we have a lot of British people in our community. Maybe they get all upset with me. I'm American, so I also have connections to England in that regard. So I don't know.
For me, it's just like
Italy,
England. Go England.
No,
Italy also
we
took
just
out
celebrated,
Spain.
we just celebrated Independence Day. Fuck England. Go Italy.
Nah, I'm going England.
England needs to
I do
win.
like Italian food better than British food. I can say that
No.
safely.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I'm still going England.
Okay, so swap the SLR for advanced target computer.
Let's get this party started.
Yeah, I'm gonna be more aggressive this time. What are
So
the current
it's
teams?
pile
Here they are, Strike. Rui, Days, Crazed, and me versus Claw, Maxi, Box, and Renzo.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we have a spectator of a football game.
There we go. No sneakiness anymore, but we do get advanced target computers.
Yeah, well that helps.
How did you find that lead ring, Rui? I think it's your first time using that too, huh?
I used the previous one, but I like the.
Oh, okay.
They're both serviceable. I like them both. They're
good.
The new one's good. It's definitely because it doesn't overlap with the.
With the pip.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, well, we already got one. We got a wild Renzo here.
Alright.
And you can.
I poked a
If your target
hornet's
is silent
nest.
running, their name will be blinking, right? The little asterisk blinking is their whole status. Their name blinking is them being silent running.
Okay. You're on gate. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
England on the offense. He's on the offense.
Oh shit! Somebody snuck up on me.
Oh, he didn't shoot.
So you got two lines. Oxel's on you, Fernando. Watch out.
Yeah, I got him.
You're already engaging. Here, I'm gonna 2v1 him with you.
I'm fine.
Oh, Italians on the offense.
Oh shit! He
Oh,
took me
not
outside. I wasn't fine. I forget that heavy cannon hits like a brick. It took me on. He snuck up on me.
Ooh. Silent running. Actually works.
Yeah, you can see the effects on it now.
It's
From
actually.
the other perspective. You can see what we've been doing to them the whole time.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's gonna take a while before people really master it. I mean, it's a whole new ability with the way it works now. It's very different from its previous incarnation.
Well, yeah, that's very disorienting now that
I'm on box.
doesn't help with the
England scored a goal in the second minute.
And Box is in a heavy like you, which can, if you don't realize that, he is more tanky, so you gotta take that into consideration when you're fighting him.
fucking got it finally. Jesus. Alright, I'm going back to base.
Woo! Got him. Oh, they're winning. No, we're winning. Oh, we're winning.
Yeah, we're winning.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I was complaining a little too early. I didn't actually see the effect of that. Running. It's actually, I mean, it's not a game changer, but it definitely does. It's useful. Oh, tolerance incoming. Come on, restop. No, Renzo's trying to kill me. Please repair it now.
Oh man. You also lose track of them if they get behind an asteroid very quickly. They'll drop off almost immediately. God damn, now I am definitely getting attacked. Oh! Renzo took me out with the LRM. 3 to 5. 4 to 5. It just became a 1-kill game very quickly. 1-kill lead for us. Heading out.
Everyone is doing it.
Got my eyes on Bob.
Okay, we got him in. I'm heading towards you.
Alright.
Yeah, the only guy we can see, so. I have my assist on.
Where's the rest of the guys? Going for max. I'm out.
Shot. Renzolo's on you, Days. Watch out. Oh, he's in our base.
You're gonna be using silent running a lot. I think if you're patient, you fight with honor. Rui Buxel says you fight with honor. I don't know what you did, but that's a compliment.
He probably fucking whipping at me because I killed some. You used Jason the one I killed him. He's in it. Maxi. Oh, crazy. Okay, careful. You got box when crazy gunman on you. Which one's lower, gunman? Maxi, probably.
Gunman?
Yeah. I had a dodge an LRM. I was.
That's what happened. You got distracted. Huh?
I got distracted. Yeah, they always distract. Because it's important to dodge the LRM.
Ah. But now you're on the front, boy. Better stop shooting. Yeah, the power was
I should have turned around. I'm out.
Wow, gave that away quickly. Wow.
Rui, you're low, huh?
No, I'm alright.
Oh, you're damaged. That goes as damage.
Oh, I got 3 on me. I got 3 on me. Let me get actually in the group. Now I'm low. Now it's
28 seconds.
Come on, use the rock. Use the rock. Oh, fuck. Just hit a wall. Damn it. For 1 kill. Careful.
It's okay. As long as we don't die, we'll win. And
Oh, I got a Renzo.
I got the kill, so.
Oh, I'm in the process of dying, though. Alright.
Okay, I'll bring everybody back.
I got 6 of the kills, woo.
Okay, yeah, there you go. 6 kills to you.
There you go, guys. That's our first silent running versus.
Definitely did not earn all of them. I know at least 2 of them was like getting the last shot on someone that was being attacked by 3 people.
Yeah. Rui's a true warrior.
Definitely. The rest of you just run away whenever someone shoots you. Bastards.
I don't like being 2v1.
Maybe next time we should do it without the capital ship turrets. I
Makes
felt
me
like part
upset.
of our advantage is that your team was always on our side of the map, and that gave us a big advantage too. So.
Yeah, I wonder why we were always on your side.
Because Renzo's aggressive. And
Every time I ever try to attack someone, someone goes behind me. It's like, well, guess we don't get to attack them then. Again! For the 5th time!
Yeah, the running too, but... if anybody has time for another one, I think we'll do one without the capital ship turrets and with any weapon.
I'd love to, but I've really got to get going.
Yeah,
You gotta go?
Same, I gotta go.
It's so much fun though. Like,
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah, good patch. Great time with you guys. Have a good day. Alright.
Yeah.
Thanks, Box. It was fun. Thanks, Claw. See you guys next time.
Later.
GG.
Thanks,
Good.
Bye. Well, with 2 of them leaving, that means we could do a 3v3.
Let's do everyone silent running.
Both team with silent running versus silent running, you might as well not be silent running. And we have to
Yeah, but it's on and off, and then it goes on and off when you're shooting. It's
how
different.
about Rui? How about
Italy on the offense.
What teams we're gonna use?
Oh.
I'm gonna have Days switch to the enemy team. And
I ran on the wrong bench.
Craze, I'm gonna have you nerf yourself a little bit because you're getting all our kills. Okay. Gunman, you have to use the rocks.
Okay.
Only rocks.
Only rock.
Okay, and then in terms of it, any weapon goes, and we will use.
Hey, Renzo's bullying me.
Renzo, Maxi, Days, you guys want to use advanced turret computer or silent running?
Can use silent running.
You don't want to use it? You use advanced target computer then, okay?
I want
Target
to
computer.
fine with silent running.
What about it?
I'm fine with using.
Oh, you're
silent
fine with
running.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Since I'll barely use them anyway. What did you say, Days? Repeat that. Okay. Well, actually, why don't we do this for this round? You can use whatever the heck you want. Silent running, not silent running. Try to use the best strategy.
Except me, I have to use rocks.
Except for Crazy Gunman has to use rocks and advanced targeting computer.
Wait, wouldn't that help?
Oh, you don't have to actually use it. I mean, you just have to have it equipped.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, I had the pip on. I feel like it was actually confusing me more.
Okay, good luck, guys. And okay, so it's us versus them. All right. Yeah, that's a problem when you have Gunman on your team. He's usually worth at least 2 pilots, so it's not.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Let's go back to our character. Let's try. I would say let's try some of elite wing fight tactics where just focus one person down.
Okay.
I don't know. It could be interesting.
Yeah.
I'll follow. How about this? I'll follow you, Rui, and you can be the shot caller for our team, huh?
All right.
And I'll be fine.
Yeah, let's go through.
I'm gonna switch to a heavy, so we're in the so I can sort of match your speed more easily.
Oh wait, do I have to use a certain ship?
You can use whatever ship you want, Gunman, for now.
Right. I'll stay in light. I kind of want to change the bomber because then it's all green instead of blue.
And I'm gonna follow Rui. Okay, Rui, what are you gonna use for your loadout? This one, Vulcan heavy cannon, advanced targeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to go.
I like the double weapon loadout. I don't know.
No, those are
Yeah. High risk, high reward.
I mean, I prefer triple weapon loadouts, but I don't know.
Even high risk.
when you're already high risk, I think the advanced targeting computer is good because you're less chance of fucking up.
It reduces your risk a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do plasma cannon double boost, heavy fighter.
All right.
Okay.
A double boost, so it's might actually be better than a light with 2 boosts.
Italy almost scored.
Okay, we're good, Rui.
All right. Let's find Renzo. All three of us take him down first.
All right.
He's in the to our left, up.
Is that him? Yeah, I got Renzo.
Up in the sun, there he is. Heading towards him. He's using bull, hull, LRM, and a light. I'm engaging Renzo. He's following you, Rui.
Yep. He's going around the rock. Okay. Is it just him around here? Yeah, we're all three of us are still fine.
Yeah, there's Maxi somewhere, but he's silent running.
Yep. Okay.
Maxi's here, and so is Days Gambler, so all three of them have joined the party.
I hit Renzo for rogue.
Holding LRM. IG locked. Yeah. IG locked like a noob.
Don't you mean like a pro?
But look, I'm in a heavy. I lost track of you guys, so I'm on my own. I'm fighting Gambler.
I'm just staying on Renzo. It's fun.
Yeah, he's evading. See, this is what happens though, is when one person goes on and he just evades. Yeah.
Okay. There's a Days. I'm gonna switch to Days.
I'm heading back towards you, Rui. Renzo's on you. I'm gonna go for Renzo then. Okay, I hit Renzo. He's lost more than half his hull.
I got Days.
Oh, he got you. Shoot. Sorry, I wasn't close enough to hit him. We're tied 1-1. Renzo's short. It's not gonna be lasting long because.
No, it's very clear that doesn't work. There's no maneuverability downtime, so you can just fully evade if you need to in this game.
Yeah. Well, unless they were accurate with a GAT or something, you could probably focus people down.
Oh, LRM.
Yeah.
But that's something very specific you'd have to have your whole team be outfitted for, so you're very vulnerable against like any other tactics they're using. I'm on Maxi just because he was in the area.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm gonna go back to Renzo. I don't want him to get back and repair. Renzo's near you, Rui.
Oh, Maxi only has LRMs.
I'm 3 clicks away from you guys. Man, I figured he would go back and repair by now, but no.
He's that confident that he can get you.
1-1. Hey, Rue, if you can fly towards me, it'll make it a lot easier for me to help you.
Yeah, he's just backing away. I think he's trying to.
Alright, so Maxi only has an LRM if you see him. He's a silent running LRMer that's in a light, so he's support.
Interesting. I mean, that's kind of like, I feel like you do it in Bomber too, at least. Where are we going?
I got Renzo. I found him and shot him off a
Okay,
rock.
now we're up 2-1.
Wait, where's their third person? I don't think I've seen him. Oh, Days. Yeah. I saw him. Def. I know what Days does.
There. Right. Also, if you lose the target lock, you can still, because of the Astra, you can still visually look at the radar and get a sense where they're at that way.
Renzo, where the heck is the rest of them?
They're silent. I think they're all silent.
All I see is Renzo and some LRNs from Days. Back. Sorry. Oh, somebody called. Somebody had a phone call.
Oh yeah.
Days had a phone call. It could be good if. I mean, the problem with no weapon, Bestia, is that LRM is a good finishing weapon, but it doesn't have that. You know, the DPS over time is relatively low. Silent running is of course going to make the LRMs more effective. I feel harder for people to see where you're coming from.
Got a Maxi again.
And then the
Renzo's
repair
on you,
tool
Rui.
really depends on your team and your strategy. You know, because it depends on your teammates making themselves repairable. If they're just running all over the place, then it's not going to be so useful.
Heavy fighter struggles, man. Alright, nice shot.
Oh, he finished them all. Yeah. I think silent running double LRM would be better with the bomber.
Potentially.
That's probably
Okay.
what I would run.
I'm gonna try to get Days.
Nah, I'm going with my favorite loadout. Come on, prepare so I can load out. I'm gonna go light fighter with SRMs, heatsink, and dampener.
Nice.
Oh, alright, they're not SRMs anymore.
SRS this.
Yeah.
Short range soaring missiles. This is to make it more obvious that you should be firing them in mass if you want to get anything of value out of them. But they're basically.
I have all three of them on me.
Alright, I'm coming.
I'm heading there, but I lost sight of them.
I see gunman. Alright. Here, Renzo. Suffer.
Oh, I know what we're gonna do for the next round. It'll be us versus the I don't know crew. Okay.
I got all the kills. All right. That was great.
I was saying we should do a round, Gunman, Days, and Renzo versus Maxi, Rui, and me. The I don't know guys versus.
Yay. IDK. It's the best.
So.
Time to die. Let's go.
So, Maxi switched to our team and Gunman switched to their team. That's all we gotta do.
Am I on the right? No. Never on the right.
And Gunman, you gotta use a. You have to use a bomber.
Oh.
Okay.
Alright.
Unless it happens to. We'll see. I might upgrade you if you do really well.
I get, at least I get to have green HUD. I kind of like the green. It's a pretty good shade, too. The green. I get the wallow in silence, too. As a miserable and a boomer. No. I don't mind the repair. It's like a repair only. I'm only allowed to repair people. Again. We did that before. It's like, I got switched the rock, and I got every kill somehow. I don't understand what happened. Ah! It's Maxi had a really strange loadout. He was like LRM, silent running, and then attack. Or the third option made even less sense for his loadout, then he eventually put an HVC back on. Yeah. Alright, try something new. It's like, alright. Doesn't work against gunmen's. I think he learned that. I think it was doing very well against Fernando and Rui. But I just kept finding him and attacking him. Normally. I think the main problem with Solid running in the bottom of the description, it should be has limited effectiveness against gunmen's. And Renzos as well. It's like, yeah, with the right, yeah. Oh yeah, I know which one. Yeah, I'll go for that'll be the first thing I do, unless I get attacked. And then I'll be defending myself. Oh yeah, you just want me to get the turrets. You still want me? Yeah, you still want me to get a turret? Alright, albeitism then. So I'm just gonna bomb players. Alright. Bomber's the best shot. I have a Nando on me too. Oh, I just have everyone attacking me, I'm pretty sure. Alright, that works for me. Whose battleship is this? I'm gonna try to go back to ours. Big emphasis on try. I want to heal. I got 2 people on me. Alright, I'm coming in. hotter than a fried salmon or whatever. I'm in a bomber, I can't hurry that much. They're on to us. Ah! Stay in the ship. It's safer. Alright, I'm repairing now. I want to repair again. I didn't get the finish. I got very rudely interrupted. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna charge at him now, because I fully repaired. Still under attack even though the game's over. Ah! Ah! Yeah, we did well. The IDK is the,
Okay,
is
that was
the best.
10 to 0. Okay, gunman, we're gonna nerf you even further.
No.
So
the quality of life is so low.
Let's see what the hell are you using?
Rock and a bomber and the ATC.
Rock, ATC, hull. So switch that hull for a heat sink.
How does that nerf?
Because your hull is tankier. You always have plenty of energy. You never run out of energy.
But I'll just have even more energy.
Yeah. And then we're gonna turn capital ship turrets back on, so that we have some defense. And yeah, we're gonna be more defensive. Let's see how we do.
This will be my last
match. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's getting late for me too. Okay, so I'll put you guys back on your own team.
All right. Ah! Yeah, it's like so. What we want to fight inside their hangar the whole time? That's a strat, right? Oh shit! I'm not even facing the right one. All right, that's the strategy I'm going for. Oh yeah, you want me to get the turrets, right? You know the turrets. So I'm gonna get the ones by the hangar first, and then the ones that can shoot you from when you're inside the hangar in the front. Gunman-based bombers. Tis me. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm in a good spot to, like, get on it. But just keep spamming it at them. They're going over their calculus, you know. Whatever it is they do to strategize. It's not like we have a strategy other than the one that we don't get the use. Well, he's a boomer. It takes him a while to do stuff. Even though he is adamant that he is not a boomer. Oh, yeah, see. Oh, this is perfect. Like, this little spot, you can peek up and see the battleship you're going to attack. And then hide back in cover. This is great. I like this spot. Right, I'm going. We're going in. I have probably one person on me. Probably two people on. Alright, it's just harder because the SRMs are better, too. Oh, I beansed it. I think we're good, Renzo. I think we got all the important ones. Alright, I'm inside now. There's an angry Fernando. I got him! Hey, Fernando came in to fight me and I just got him. I'm gonna go back to heal now. I took a little bit of damage. It's success! I had a good success. I assume Daze is doing very good support and bothering them. I don't actually see Daze, I was really busy. Alright, I'm coming back in now. I repaired the full. I think survival's more important, because I need to have that, like, good KD, you know. Alright, I'm coming back. I'm gonna try to get more of their turrets as well. I'm in. Was that a Rui? Flying out for a little bit. I rammed a Maxi as well. That was quite amusing. gonna come back in the hangar. I had my fun attacking turrets for a little bit. Alright, I think I killed 2 people for you, Brunsel. I snuck up on them. They thought I was busy on turrets. I switched off. Just to confuse them. Oh, we got a helpful teammate too. Pog joined our team. Yeah! We need the help. Good thing he joined the team in the most need. Like he should have. Alright. Whoa, we did the go. We got a bonus teammate too at the end. That was great. Yeah, capital ship assault. Yeah. Yeah, probably should. That was a lot of fun, just attacking their ship the whole time.
Man, you guys are nuts. You guys know your way around that capital. Right? That's pretty obvious. You're hiding in all sorts of little nooks and crannies.
Yeah, I'm just good. Renzo hides in them. I am very good at flying around it because when I used to attack him a lot.
Wow. And you guys, I think you guys managed to strip quite a few of the turrets too.
Yeah, I got a few of them. Oh, we're worried about getting around the turrets around the hangars so that we can go in them freely. And not have to worry about turrets still being on us.
Ah, that's what your strategy was. No wonder it was working so well. You killed all the turrets that could shoot you while
yeah, so we get that safe spot, which is really important.
Wow, that was smart.
Yeah, that was what me and Renzo figured out when we were doing it against the AI. It's like, oh, we just kill these turrets, and we could just stay in the hangar and let the AI come in and attack.
You turned it into zombie mode.
Yeah.
And we were the zombies and didn't realize we were the zombies.
It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
So we missed our shipyard
map later. But what did you? Before I go, did you guys enjoy the changes in this build?
I quite like it. I think it's pretty good.
So what was the? Sorry, I'm asking this twice now. But what was the biggest change in this build specifically?
The version 2 of Silent Running. I made the power burn if you run out of energy. Degrades. And the other was the fastest weapons got toned down a little bit, so that it was easier to evade them even with pips. Because I felt like if you do like Gat and Vol with advanced targeting was just like way too deadly.
And flak was like obscene. It's like if someone was using flak, you're just gonna get chipped down no matter what.
Yeah, there was very little evasion, so it was just like who out aimed the other guy only.
Especially since it's like, and flak in particular was so fast that you can't see your own projectiles, and the person that you're firing at can't see them coming in to hit them. So you can't. So if you dodge based on seeing projectiles and moving out of their way, it doesn't work against flak just because it's too fast. I figured it's like, well, I kind of feel bad for people that are used to dodging like that. They react to when you shoot them.
Did, Rui. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, so nothing huge, just like refining all the systems that needed to be put together. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll be doing a bigger like combat balance testing. Like some of these numbers will change, but when we add in the Earth Alliance, that'll be the role-centric ship. Then the plan is when that comes in, then we need to make sure it's balanced within its like Earth Alliance versus Earth Alliance is balanced, but then also Earth Alliance versus United Colonies is balanced. And that I figure that's going to be a big balancing piece of work, and we might do bigger tweaks then in terms of like actual ship values instead of just simple things like weapon speeds. We did, you know?
Also, would that be? I'm guessing you'd consider changing the controls so that if you wanted to have your rolling beyond mouse left and right, you'd do it for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I know people have already suggested, and I know a lot of other games, that's just the way you fly. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
If you were using a roll-centric ship, then you might want to use your mouse left and right to roll.
Yeah.
What are you in Elite Dangerous? Do most people use their mouse for roll then? Or they still use yaw?
Okay. Like you mean like the like on the axis of the
Yeah.
mouse?
Yeah, left and right on mouse.
That's how it is by default. So a lot of people get stuck with it, but we try to warn people like, please learn with mouse on yaw, or else you're gonna fuck up. Like you're gonna.
Also, it's actually better, huh?
Yeah, because because I say it's like, I mean, just for aiming, it's like I can.
Even with
you want it.
There's no
the
reason
thing
to
is, like, you can definitely learn mouse roll, but with mouse yaw, you're drawing on muscle memory that you already have, so you're not wasting time learning that.
That's like that's like the thing I always bring up in freaking Planet Side.
I'm happy to hear you say that, Rui. That way I can keep the default for the Earthly line still be mouse yaw, and anybody wants to change it to mouse roll, it'll be supported, probably.
Yeah.
But
I think supporting it makes sense.
And then with the joysticks, it's up to you since those aren't mapped by default. So.
Yeah, the joystick map is fun.
Because I say Planet Side 2, it really doesn't make sense that it's mouse roll on the aircraft. It's like, you got people that are FPS gamers. Why not make it easy for them to learn?
There's a lot of
and you're not dealing with like aerodynamic forces, so it's not like yaw is like a massive, like, you have to be really careful how you use it deal in space.
That's actually its own can of worms of freaking flying.
Yeah, but I would think that the enemy team actually did pretty well considering we had Boxel helping us. I mean, we had Craze Gummin on our team. Because look what happened, Rui, when we put Gummin on the enemy team.
On top of, you know, Renslow and
Well, then when we combined the three, that was a nightmare.
So we're all the people that are very evasive and don't like dying are on the same team.
Yeah, that's true. You guys are all really good at staying alive, which is pretty important.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. It was fun. Thanks for dropping by, Rui, too.
Yep.
Maxi, FaZe, Brenzo, Gummin.
Oi.
FaZe.
You have a fun... Alright, I'm gonna end the stream. It's been almost 3 hours, actually.
Oh, wow. I'll see you guys
I'll still be
next week.
playing, probably, in some capacity. I might switch to Halo or something.
By the way, Italy is currently losing.
Yay! Thanks for watching the stream.